Hello there
Welcome.
to Bards of New York.
Nope, Bards and Crafts.
We are still Bards of New York.
Kyle,
though.
do it again. Roll it again.
Hi. Welcome.
To Bards and Crafts.
Awful. Hey everybody. As you can see, we are doing a bit of a different kind of show tonight. If you've seen Bards and Crafts before, we love it. It's always a fun time where we get to do crafting stuff and maybe answer some questions, kind of like a Bards After Dark scenario. It's a bit of fun meshing. We are currently fewer than you usually see.
I mean, for Bards and Crafts, we are more than we usually see. Thank you for guesting on our show.
Wow. I thought I was helping out.
You are. You're a very special guest. Right, Hannah?
Yeah.
It was a delay, not because of a lack of enthusiasm, but because Hannah's listening to the audio.
Yeah. My ADHD's on fire right now.
Yeah. Spicy. Cool.
This is our show. Thank you for guesting.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to be here. Was your journey smooth?
A little rough.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Do you have drinks? Do you have snacks?
I do.
Do you feel okay, comfortable as a guest on our show?
Yep. The way you phrased it, maybe not.
This
So-
is the actual...
All right. Are you gonna?
I love you so much.
I love you too.
This is the actual play D&D podcast. What is our opening? Where sometimes we actually play
Yeah, practice
D&D.
for when you GM.
Oh yeah, for when I do my one shot. I killed Kyle. Hi, welcome to Bards of New York, the actual play Dungeons and Dragons podcast, where sometimes we actually play D&D.
No,
But tonight,
that is the cardinal rule.
I say it all out.
No. The cardinal rule, and if you had watched the show previously,
I've never seen the show.
Casual fan.
I've never once seen the show.
I will say, the rule that we've set up is, it has to be. Both are the same. You either say D&D twice or you say Dungeons and Dragons twice.
Thank you. I was trying to split the difference.
We had like an epic battle with Woody about it.
Okay, 1 second.
That you can't start over again.
Hi.
No.
Welcome to Bards of New York, the actual play Dungeons and Dragons podcast, where sometimes we actually play Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight is not one of those times. Tonight you're here for a very special Bards and Craft, hosted by your Bards Who Craft, Rachel and Hannah, with special guest star
Color commentary.
Kyle Knight, who will maybe craft, but will definitely answer some questions. I heard a rumor if you ask really good questions.
Yeah, he said specific questions only.
If you ask really specific questions, he'll answer. If you ask us questions, we'll answer maybe vaguely, maybe with a wave emoji if you're in our Discord. And we're gonna hang up some art, vibe. Tell us what your craft is, if you're doing a craft or if you're writing. But that's what we're here to do. Thank you for patiently waiting for us to do that intro, but I think 5th time's the charm.
Oh, our the layout from last week is still up, or what's it called?
The names?
Yeah, the names are still up. So
That's so fine.
I'm currently playing Hannah as Synnove.
I'm Gary.
Bubbles is me.
Excellent.
And Abria is the spear.
The spear.
So
Incredible. I was actually thinking of putting
the spear.
I was thinking of putting the spear in that corner, but we'll decide once we start moving stuff around. Hi, friends.
Okay, I think
Can you hear us?
chat. I think we sound pretty good. Yeah, keep us hot.
Yeah, tell us. Tell us if there's a problem. First, very specific question. Kyle, what's your best Hannah Synnove impression? Do you have a good Southern accent?
I am from the South.
No.
Is
Yes.
Florida the South?
Not
That's
where
my-
you're, not where
I
you're
will say
from.
my part
That
of
was a
Florida
break.
is not the South.
No, I don't want to
The
hear
further
it.
south in Florida you go, the further north you go in America.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't make sense, it's because you're not a Floridian. And I hate that I am. Just kidding. But I do.
Your mom watches this.
She does, and she's amazing.
We love you.
Yes, I'm from South Florida, and in South Florida, the reason it is not like the South is because it is filled with what are lovingly called snowbirds, retirees, and people from the Northeast. So like New Yorkers, Pennsylvanians that migrate. Like that's what my family did. Went from Philly to here, but that was before I was born. Or to here.
What
Florida.
is
I don't know where I am.
your grandmother's social security number, since we're sharing?
Oh yeah.
She is old enough that they that it's actually shorter than usual. She's number 82.
Stop.
Wow.
That was incredible. So
7.
I really appreciate the personal Kyle lore. I was wondering, was that your way of getting out of doing the southern accent that Synnove has?
You start what?
That was the question.
Okay. You what? But I'm not avoiding.
You can keep
I believe you.
you can keep
Wow.
explaining if you
Wow.
want.
Yeah, do a southern accent.
This is hostile.
I'm trying to figure out how to make chat bigger because
You're a
I'm
guest
blind.
on our show.
Synnove talks like it's interesting because it's kind of it's not exactly Georgian or southern Mississippi.
Definitely not. It's like Appalachian, kind of. It's like Appalachian mixed with Idaho.
Yeah,
Do it. Combine them.
she's like Katari.
That was much closer.
Give me something to say.
First to know. She always loves to drink some tea with honey.
She's
and
a big
her...
fan of some tea and some honey.
It's also you trying to do a femme voice.
Doggy.
It's
That's
you doing
fair.
a femme voice and an accent, and that's I respect that, honestly. Better than me.
It's fair. It's fair. The elephants missing in the room are Will and Dan. They are currently hunting the cryptid,
Known as
the Rat King.
who kidnapped John.
John, and if you guys remember previously, John has had a tough saga with the rats underneath the city of New York, and they took him back, and so
The Rat King took the Rat Daddy.
the Rat King
Oh.
took his daddy back.
Put that on a hat.
So
Rat
it
Daddy
is
on the hat, right?
Will and Dan's job to save our
Sweet legume.
sweet legume
Thank you.
Jarn.
I'm glad that's caught on.
I only say it because you said it out loud.
And that's
just
what I
now.
mean, it caught on.
That's not what caught on means. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
I will try. Oh, do you know if you've received the small Z care package? If it was this past week, it might be in the PO box and we just haven't gotten it yet. Since this is our abnormal time and our postmaster monarch, is that what Will's title is?
I
Isn't
like
here
it
to bring us our mail.
because, as we said, he's
He's
hunting the
Our
Rat King.
schlepper. Our package schlepper.
Carry
That's what he
package.
is.
Send us so many things. Send us like very heavy things so that Will can carry them to and from the stream.
Yeah, on the subway.
Yeah. Hannah, a good question for Hannah from Elizabeth. I would love to know what eyeshadow you're using because it's gorge.
Thank you. It is from a Barbie palette. I don't know the name of it. I can take a picture and share it in Discord. It's from. Shout out to my brother's ex-girlfriend. She left it when she moved out and didn't ask for it back. So
Hannah,
Nice.
you have this. You still have the same palette?
yeah. It was fine. I didn't open it until like 4 months ago. It's fine.
Okay.
Rach,
So it wasn't used.
No. It wasn't used.
Yeah.
No.
you,
What's your
you
concern?
did. You're only because I know you and I watched
It's
it
fine.
happen.
You just watched it.
You learned the intricacies of makeup
From the cleanest
hygiene
person I know.
from your sister.
Yeah. But like I didn't know when I was younger, but like you're only like how you're supposed to change out your mascara a certain amount or the eyeshadow. I didn't know, so then my brain just went to how long ago that was, and I thought you've been using the same palette the whole time.
That's fair.
Thank you.
I see Bony Foliage.
What?
Bony Foliage.
For life.
Maybe. Where does
Bony? Where does JB? He actually I'm pretty sure he either ran out or was like really low.
I thought he ran out.
I can't remember. When we were in Valyria, he had to smoke a lot because of Voltaire.
I'm sorry?
I don't think of it at all.
Did you just say Joltaire?
That's what I thought his name was.
This is a Bards and Crafts
Kyle ships it.
exclusive.
I don't want to be here.
Joltaire?
You want to be here, you love
Is
us.
Apollo here?
We're two of your favorite people in the whole wide world. Apollo, I hope you're in chat.
Apollo, are you in this Chili's tonight?
I've been watching Hunter x Hunter, so I had to also move away Hisoka from my brain when producing the name.
Question for you.
I don't think of that person, Voltaire, without it being shown to me as the shipping thread.
Interesting.
Question for you.
Okay.
You have to choose JB and Voltaire, JB and Hisoka.
Voltaire.
I
Because
haven't seen
Voltaire's
Hunter
not a
x Hunter.
predator?
I don't know what's
Yeah. And like, he's definitely shifty as fuck, and I wouldn't trust him with anything. But like, as much as I like Hisoka as a character, like, even moving past that, which we shouldn't, but even so, even moving past the fact that he is extremely problematic when it comes to his kink.
He's got a.
I've not seen this
violence
show.
kink. He's just really horny for violence, and it doesn't matter if it's in a child.
He just wants to fight.
God.
Yeah, but it very specifically manifests as him being horny.
Okay. I don't like this.
No, it's not. Sometimes you love Hisoka, and then other times you're like, step away from the children.
I don't like this at all. I will not be watching
I
this
remember
show.
texting John at like 3 a.m. being like, John, what show are you making me watch right now?
He's just gonna kill him.
One day.
But
We'll hand this to Kyle.
Yeah. Ooh, I like these frames.
Thank you.
to completely answer the question fully through in my brain, because the character Hisoka is very specifically about the bloodlust aspect, I'm saying that JB would be like, oh no, you need to die, like, immediately. With Voltaire, he's like, stay the fuck away from me. But like, he would think Hisoka is like a problem.
I'm gonna change the music to something else.
Yeah, I was like, it's still the opening music. So, Kyle, for your first craft, I've given you those small frames. We're gonna get more tiny frames for the small sketches that we got recently, but if you want to pick 2 of the small sketches to go in said tiny frames.
Okay. Those.
Yes, from that pile. That is your first official Bards and Crafts craft for tonight.
Yes, chef.
We do, as you've probably noticed, have to take out the plastic and or glass in our frames so that our lovely friends at home can see them and the light does not reflect off of them for the cameras. Wow, so a bunch of good questions coming in!
They go by too fast for me.
Do you have tarot cards picked out for past characters you've played, or was that new for regular Stargate? That was the first time I've done that.
It was new for regular Stargate.
That's what I thought.
We wanted to lean real hard into it.
Yeah.
It was Will's prompting, I think.
He wanted it. But we've, like, even in our home game, we would talk about what tarot cards our characters were. And we played around with the tarot cards for the Ballad of the Nightmare Crew. And I think, like, it was like a fun thought experiment in the Discord.
I really like tarot as a narrative, like, device in a way, but more just kind of like a lens, like I like analyzing the characters and like really thinking about it by putting it into these like frames on theme for tonight. putting them in frames and then because tarot has so much like lore of itself, it's fun to be able to like kind of mess around with that.
Yeah, it's another tool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Also, I
You
played.
can use it for acting too.
Also, I played Cyberpunk 2077, and there's a huge tarot element in that, which is cool. So yeah, it's just fun. I like metaphor and symbolism, a good strong amount. So it's been really cool to have those.
I'm a hoe for a symbol.
Put it on a shirt.
Put it on a shirt.
I'm a
A
hoe
hoe
for
for a metaphor.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna have to go back because I saw a bunch of questions, but there's a good highlighted question from, I want to say Elfin is how I would say the username. May I ask question? Do y'all have a warm-up ritual before the stream or cool-down thing afterwards? We definitely have pre-stream rituals that we do.
Take a shot.
But we do take a shot.
I
That
don't.
does happen. Some people don't.
Some people don't. It's me.
The babies.
We all have, I think, our little rituals that we do,
Yeah.
like any actor would have them. But we have family dinner
Synnove.
beforehand. And we all sit around the dining
Dinner.
table and kind of like chill, which is really nice.
I love it.
really love
and
it.
just catch up.
Yeah, and
But-
then Will has like certain songs he plays before.
Yes, we have
we're all
warm-up
here to get like
songs.
hyped up.
We have a warm-up, and then that list of songs changes for each book.
Yes,
It's changed, and I think that's a tradition we'll probably keep doing.
Yep.
I want to for every game, but
Just wait until I'm in the
Ah,
chair.
I can't wait. But then with the shot that everyone takes, and I take a shot of water or whatever I'm having, we then also do like a little toast, a little cheers
Yeah.
for the week.
Yeah, we do. And should we tell them about the toast and what happens when we toast?
Yeah.
Should we?
It's a
It's
you know how
terrifying.
there are rituals around toasting of
Terrifying.
like bad luck or like it like
Yeah.
essentially the idea, and I was introduced to it from y'all.
It's me.
Okay,
It's me.
it is you. You started this.
Yep. Yeah, if you don't make eye contact with the people who you're toasting with or cheersing with, you get 7 years of bad sex.
It takes forever to do the toast.
And so we've all then, after we toast, manically look at each other like,
The problem is the mania. We
That's
really
actually-
tried to address it with the new year. I think for like the new year we were like, all right, let's
chill.
let's just make it like a pleasant
Nope.
meeting of eyes of like, yes,
I have ADHD, I can't do that.
friendship. But there's
It's horrible.
when you turn and you're about to take a sip and somebody's just like,
The last episode, I remember I was about to sip, and I thought I'd made eye contact with John, but John didn't think he was with me, and I had the shot going into my mouth, and he goes, Hannah!
it is unnecessarily stressful. But
I-
it is fun.
I have a quick one. I saw that Fox asked a couple times, so I want to make sure we do it. Because I think it'll be quick. What are your character's favorite colors? Valor's is purple.
Synnove's is pink.
Like my hair?
LOL.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
I was sitting on that for a long time, thought I'd reveal it in the show, but
But here we
because
are.
this is a special Bards and Crafts, it's pink.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because of Valerie's hair. Yep.
I can't go on. I'm
Uh,
so sad.
wow. This is a beautiful
I'm
moment.
so sad that Valor's is purple.
Why? It's fine.
You can answer Kyle.
JB's is probably like a very, very like dark green.
I like
Like
that.
an emerald?
That would look really good on
Darker.
JB too. Like a forest,
Yes.
foresty,
Yeah, like like
which is almost emerald.
the reasoning is because of like in my mind I'm like, okay, like what does he see that he finds beautiful, like the forest and like the leaves, especially in like I feel like in northern, like I picture them as having like really dark leaves.
Like the evergreen kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
Like the Varan family colors.
Get out.
Someone did ask, does JB
It's not my
love
fault.
Aelys like Katari loves Synnove?
Which is
That's a scary kind of
Obsessed
Oh my
and unhealthy.
God.
obsession.
Infatuation.
JB has
Infatuation.
never loved anyone in the specific way that Katari feels about Synnove.
And I don't picture him ever.
I don't think he's
I don't
aiming
see
for
it.
that.
I don't see it.
No.
I have to move a little bit. Can I give Ava to you? I feel horrible moving her.
She's like splatted.
I know.
too.
How could you?
I know, Ava. I love you so much.
Let me form the knee pit for her.
I just can't put her on the ground. I feel horrible.
Hello, baby.
And there was another question. How does Synnove from Red Wine Supernova? How does Synnove feel when she hears Valor say that she hates books, knowing that Lenore loved books?
It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts a lot.
It's a consistent reminder.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. It's not that she hates books because Synnove wasn't ever a reader and is trying to read these books. And canonically, I've made her a very slow reader because she has not been.
Yeah.
Like, but it hurts because it is that constant reminder of the missing pieces.
That's why it's done. For everyone to remember.
Ow!
I'm having a problem finding a good sketch
Yeah.
for this frame.
No, yeah, lay them all out. Look at them. Let's see. Kyle from
What?
Filthy Stinky 20. How did you grow to be the rules lawyer that you are? How did you amass and keep that knowledge?
There are many different kinds of intelligence, and
Good start. Good start.
essentially it was probably just from like listening to other D&D streams, because like Woody is who taught me how to play D&D back in 2018.
Yes.
So then it was a lot of I worked as a doorman. Petition to just change everything to like IN, like Pikmin.
Human.
Yeah, human.
Like I say, Coupon.
Take the gender out of it. You know, I don't know.
Min.
Different
Like
conversation.
my last name.
Yeah,
Min.
like Minshew or Pikmin. I worked as a doorman at Tavern on the Green for quite a while, and I would, especially in the colder months, be standing out there, and it would be pretty much like nothing going on, because I had to stand outside because
In the winter.
yeah, and you know what? I don't work for them anymore.
With rabid raccoons about.
Yes, they weren't
There were
rabid.
some
They had
raccoons.
distemper.
They had to
Very
summer the one
specifically,
summer.
I did see a raccoon. All right. Yes. Okay. First,
Time out.
answer the question. I would be listening, just to like, obviously, Critical Role, for the most part, because I was really getting like introduced to D&D at that time, and so like that was really the only way to like participate in it. Because we didn't have like everybody in the city, and we weren't like doing this kind of thing. And it's just I remember rules. I kind of
That's
just
just how your
do.
brain works.
Yeah, like hearing them enough times. Yeah, and I
Just
like
sticks.
words, and I feel like I remember like the way things are said.
I like words.
I do.
I like
Yeah,
words.
I like words.
I like words.
No, like I literally want that on a hat in the same girly pop font.
I have a love affair with words.
I like words.
I'm casually dating words.
Why?
What do you give me that words does?
I almost spit water all over this beautiful art.
I think it's a good
That could've been so
representation too of like that you are very knowledgeable about rules and can remember them, and that like represents a section of people who play D&D who are that way, but aren't like annoying about it.
No.
But then there's other people who like have all the law in their brain and so can't have all of the rules from D&D in their brain.
I don't know any of the rules.
And I like have ADHD and keep switching classes, and so like we're not gonna remember everything, and you're just like cued in, and so it's a good representation of like the spectrum that you can have
Absolutely.
at the table.
So yeah,
I'm doing a little art fashion show.
I
over
wouldn't
here.
consider myself a rules lawyer. It has a lot of connotation to it, and I don't feel as though I fit into all of the connotations that it presents. I think that I am a I'm a history buff when it comes to it.
Like a history dad, but for D&D
But
rules.
for
for
D&D
D&D
rules,
rules.
and just D&D 5e, like it's specific to this.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah.
And I'm also totally cool when we break the rules. And if you check our TikTok comments, we do so often.
And they never
And
let
those
us
are
forget
rules
it.
lawyers. Like
Those
I'm
are
not
rules
here to
lawyers,
do
yeah.
I'm here to like
This
help
frame
help
for the JV art.
work out like for the DM or just like for as we're doing it, like all right, especially when we're doing soft magic or we're doing something that's like a little different. It's like how does this fit into what the rules as written are?
Yeah.
Because it's I don't know, it's fun. It's almost like a little puzzle.
Yeah, it's with anything. You gotta know the rules so that you know why you're breaking them, when you're breaking them or deviating from them. Like, I always just think of Shakespeare and like when I was taught classical text and they were like, we're gonna teach you all these rules and then you need to fucking break them, but you gotta know why you're making those decisions.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
I agree with that.
it's not a textbook.
No.
It's not a textbook.
It's a life book.
It's a way of life.
It's a game system.
That is that is imperfect because they keep updating it and changing it.
Yes. And so it's good. It's fine. And end story. I saw a raccoon.
With distemper.
I forgot we were there.
It was early on in my New York experience.
Yeah.
When we were first here, there was like
That was our first year.
there were rumors about that there was problems with raccoons in the park that had distemper. Distemper is a type of rabies, I think. Some sort of.
It's a different thing. I think.
I'm not a raccoon scientist.
I can't hear
I
raccoon
gave
without.
I gave up on that dream.
I just can't hear it without thinking about the Spotify comment.
There was an
Oh my God.
unparalleled Spotify comment
Out
about
yourself,
Valor.
out yourself in the.
I can't hear
chat.
it anymore. You guys have to stop saying raccoon. I'm gonna
It
lose
made
my
me,
mind.
like bend over and wheeze. It was so funny.
Essentially, I was standing alone. It was nighttime. There's nobody in sight.
Oh, we're still
It's the
here.
park. It's in the dark. And I was kind of just like standing there looking down. A big fucking trash panda
Thank you.
walks into view, like looks at me, I look at it, and we just like stood there for a second. And I was like, and it went. So,
And then you went
Yep.
back to holding the door.
yep.
Yep.
Nice.
It looks so cute too.
Nice. Did you have to wear like a cute little top hat?
I had
Top hat.
it's not just the top hat. We
It
were
was
called top hats because we were wearing them.
Cute.
I had to wear white button-up shirt, a vest that they provided that had like intricate like embroidery all across the front. We shared them. Not sure how often those were
Yeah, I
fucking
was
washed.
wondering if it smelled.
Don't worry about it.
Disgusting.
Don't worry about it.
And then I had to wear black slacks with these things that you put around your ankles.
To make it look like you're wearing boots.
To make it look like you're wearing boots, but I believe for like riding like horses. Like it
Yeah.
had a specific name for it.
Oh, I just broke that.
Oh,
I was using it the way it's not supposed to be used.
So strong.
wow.
I've been trying to get Valor strong.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Totally broke that. Don't worry about that.
But
No
yeah.
one look over here.
So
on the
I
side.
had those things around my ankles, so completely cutting off airflow. I did have to do this in the middle of winter.
I
I
remember.
also had to do it in the middle of summer, still with the whole fucking get up, including a top hat. Yeah.
We
And-
saw that bicep, Rachel. Funny.
Listen, guys. I'm working my way up. I also saw a question a long time ago. I know you're tracking the highlighted questions. I saw a question before that was not highlighted, but I believe it was from Vesper, and it asked how we feel when y'all roast our characters. I feel really seen because it makes me feel like the flaws and weird acting choices we're making are noticeable.
What was the question?
It was, how do you feel when we roast y'all's characters?
Oh, I love it.
I was getting roasted yesterday in Discord, and It was so funny.
Roast me more.
Yeah.
Roast me.
Because, like,
Happy.
we've talked about it a lot. We talked about Bards After Dark. Like, we're creating characters with flaws and that are weird and, like, make odd choices, and it's really funny when that's perceived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person who is joining us next week was messaging me about some stuff, and the Pirates of the Caribbean thread continues.
Oh my god.
Oh,
no. Squid?
No.
No, that wouldn't make
There was
sense.
just like one detail where I was like,
Okay.
This is what
Oh,
that
I
is.
can't wait. I
maybe
can't
my
wait.
brain is just like always in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Maybe. Oh, I can't wait. This is gonna be great. But there were a bunch of other really good questions.
I don't want to put "and you come" on this.
I do.
Okay.
Why not?
I want it. Here, I'll do it.
No.
Give it to me.
No, I'll do it.
Oh.
I'll do the job. I'm just saying.
A beautiful sunset, and you come
And you come.
out. I know. Oh, there was Lilaco Gardens asked, does your character believe in fate? Why or why not? And what aspect of fate do you like? Do they like the most?
Ooh, I love that.
Do you have an answer?
Go. Yeah.
You go.
I think that at this current time, Valor believes there are things that are supposed to happen, but that does not mean that it cannot be changed. So I don't know, like, the way that
So
I
no.
think... Yeah, the way that I think of, like, what fate means, I don't think she believes in it in that way. But she's definitely, like, there's an order, there's a plan, there's a way things should go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not, like, absolute.
So, okay, so there's... Yeah, okay, I see
Yeah.
that. Like, it's always open to deviate from the plan. Synnove believes in fate. She also believes in manifestation, but she thinks that if you are manifesting it and it happens, it was meant to happen. Like, it was always meant to be this way. She was always meant to be.
She is fate.
Yeah, she is fate.
She is fate! Do you have tiny
Yeah.
scissors I can use?
Tiny scissors? No.
I don't want to bend the art. It's just
Slightly too big?
like a hair too
I have
big.
those kitchen scissors.
I could use those
Yeah?
if that's fine. Yeah, I'll grab
It's either
those.
that or eyebrow scissors. Or I do have fabric scissors, which I don't want to use.
I don't want to use that on this. I'll use the kitchen scissors. Good job, Kyle.
And you come. Ouch.
How was your first craft?
Exhilarating.
Beautiful. Do you want to paint it a pretty orange color? We didn't grab the paints, did
No.
we? No.
Well, no, because the frames are nice.
Yeah, they are cool. They're cool little
Yeah.
frames.
Where's it going?
You can pick chat. Where do you want the "and you come out" picture to go?
Honestly, and all the other art we're putting is pretty big, so we're gonna have to rearrange things anyways once all the art is framed. I don't know if Gravel is here. Gravel, we're framing all of your incredible art that was sent to us.
Why is the song playing?
Let me,
What is
go
it
grab
just
scissors.
quiet?
You can preliminary pick a spot. It might change since we have so much to hang up.
My idea was we could relocate the beautiful dragon whiskey bottle and put it next to the map of Cordia because it is from Ballad of the Nightmare Crew. I don't know what chat thinks. Z says under the big embroidery. Dory May says on the door. Grumble Volcano says right above Hannah's right shoulder.
Like now, or where Hannah normally
Yeah,
sits?
that's a good. Oh yeah, is it me now or Kyle?
Don't make it so complicated.
And
we've
we
got
have
a couple for door
a couple votes for door.
where she normally sits. So it would
As
be.
like an "and you come in."
Oh, so it'd be like on the wall underneath the little embroidery, maybe.
Here.
Ooh, the music just got
Yeah.
intense.
These are This is my bean footage research playlist on Fantasy Plus.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I've been trying to find songs for our bean footage. So I haven't found one that's like that immediately makes me think.
This is it.
This is it. Like verse 5 of Ballad. When I heard that song, I was
Yeah.
like,
Like
I can see it.
We might need to talk to our friends at Monument.
Yeah.
It's up.
Because they do such a good job. I just want to make sure I'm not cutting off anything important.
Let me know if y'all can't hear the music or it's too loud. Okay,
This
we
is
have
like-
a lot of votes for door for the
Yeah, I get it.
You understand the appeal?
And you come.
And you come into the studio.
Oh!
I like that. Should we put it on the outside or inside of the
door?
door?
If it's on the
Hannah.
outside of the door, they won't see
Yeah,
it.
you guys won't see it.
But you'll know. You'll know it's there.
Elizabeth Joy asks, "What's the origin of the bean footage?" I've always wondered. It's from that commercial Bush's Baked Beans. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't know why we started saying it. It was just kind of like it happened, and we kept doing it.
I think I heard Will or what do you say?
Yeah.
I thought it was just called that.
And he just
Straight up.
kind of said to Dan one day,
Yeah.
all the bean footage.
Yep.
And it's
And I assumed it was a saying.
It is. Yeah.
Because we're saying it.
You guys say it, so most of my phrases I learned from y'all.
Except for all the ones that you're trying to start.
Except for the ones I'm trying. I already forgot what I tried to start earlier.
Legume.
What did I try to
Right?
start?
Legume.
Sweet legume.
That is true. I just started calling John Sweet Legume a couple times, and so I think it's. Are you ready for the first framed beautiful art that we have?
Yes.
All of the art we've received recently and all the art we've ever received is gorgeous. I'm calling this like New York Fashion Week because we have these Fashion Week style sketches of everyone. So I'm gonna put all of them in frames, and then once they're all framed, we'll figure out where to hang them. Just because there's so many, like there's one for each character.
These were the kind of, you know, that crazy story about when I was temping when I first moved here, and I ended up at the one party for that one famous person,
Thank
and
you,
then like a bunch of weird shit
Rosor.
happened to me on the train on the way home.
It is cute.
No.
It's not coming to mind.
When we
I
went
assume
party
once you
for
start
the
talking
person.
about it, I would know. Do you not want to talk about it?
No, I can. There are names that I don't want to use, but I used to temp,
Yeah.
and I got asked to show up at this very fancy club near Central Park. And I wasn't told anything. They just said show up wearing, you know, all black
Yeah.
and meet. Their name was Pam. Meet Pam there. And I thought that Pam was also one of my temp agents. And so I was like, okay, great. I'll meet Pam will be there, so they'll explain everything to me. It'll be fine. I show up. It's like a fancy, like, gentlemen's only club. Only women are allowed if they're, like, accompanied by a dude.
Ew.
Yeah. I show up, and I'm like, hey, I'm here from this temp agency. I'm looking for Pam. And they were like, oh, okay. Different Pam I'd never met. They lead me up the stairs to a supply closet, open the door, and there's that Pam, and she's dressed in like a French maid uniform. And I was like, okay, cool, great. She takes me downstairs, and she's like, you need to be dressed in the way that everybody's going to be dressed for this party because it's for somebody important. And I have no idea what this is. I've heard it was a birthday party. That's all I know. So they give me a French maid uniform, and I have to put it on. And I was like, "You're fucking kidding me right now."
Are there photos?
There are a couple photos, yeah.
Amazing.
I get dressed. I go out. All of my temp agent friends are like laughing at me because they all just got to wear their normal clothes. It was only the femme people who had to dress in these things. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
We go upstairs, and this place used to be a house of the Rockefellers. Like, it's fancy, and you walk in and you're like, there's ghosts in this bitch. It was on the main floor where we had to go in to do like canapes and, you know, passing and whatnot. So I'm standing there with like a silver tray in my hand and cocktails, like up against the wall. And then, like, I look to my right, and the governor walks through the door, and I was like, what the fuck? Where the fuck am I right now? Nobody's told me anything. They're just like, take this tray, stand here, be wall art.
Yeah.
That all happens. I think like a couple other famous people showed up, and it was just wild to like. It just felt really surreal because I have up until this point had temped like, you know, at WeWorks and stuff and and like events like that.
Yeah.
We did like desk stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go upstairs, we do the passing of like the food where you hand it out. The chairs and the tables are so close together that me, with my fantastic ass, has to stand on my tiptoes to get my butt over the chair and around. But I have this little French maid uniform on, and it keeps getting hooked on the chairs, and I've got like 3 plates on each arm, and I can't do anything. And so I had to like,
Yeah.
like it out like this, and then keep going. We finish that, they bring out the cake, and they give toasts. And every toast is in song.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
In song. It's in song.
With accompaniment?
No.
Oh
No,
God!
so some of it sounds like rhyming spoken poem with like a little bit of a tune.
Disgusting.
It was it was entertaining, I guess. That's done. They go downstairs and they're like, okay, all you have to do is clean up the plates from the cake and the coffee, and then once that's done, like, you don't have to stay till the end of the party, you can boogie. And I was like, great, cool. So we go down there.
I don't want to be here
And
anymore.
it is the weirdest situation. It's in 2 rooms that connect with like an actual wood burning fireplace. And in one room is this little old lady in a corner telling people's fortunes.
As
The
part of
scary
the party.
Yes.
The
Okay.
scary
But I-
music.
but
I
don't
thought for
know.
a second you were saying it's like, oh no, she's
a ghost.
just there.
There's
and
a
she gives
ghost.
fortunes. We're not gonna touch her.
No.
I don't know.
Hannah!
Here's the thing. I don't know if she was a guest
Maybe
and decided to do this, or if she was like hired to do this.
I've never heard this story.
Really?
Yes.
Never once.
Because
Yes.
I would remember it.
So she's there. She talks to me a lot and tries to get me like give her a bunch of cake to take home. I help her out because she's very interesting. I walk into the other room
Like, give me cake and I'll tell you your fortune.
and there's this woman who is sitting there with these. This is why I thought of it. The fashion drawings, and
Oh,
anyone
okay.
who comes up, they'll draw one of these for you, which was really cool. But she had like 6 different cocktails next to her that she was drinking out of, all of these pens and pencils, and they just like brought in this like antique old desk and set it right in the middle of the dance floor. And then people were like drawing or she was drawing for people.
Huh.
Cool, not the right place. At the same time, grand piano, 8 feet away, playing Broadway show tunes, and people singing, and then
my
people
God.
trying to dance to the Broadway show tunes. Crazy. Crazy. I was like, this is super fucking weird. Is this how the rich and the like elite and famous live? Because I don't know if this is it. I don't think this is it.
Fortune telling, cool though.
The fortune telling lady, she was a vibe. She could have been a witch that I only
There is no way that a fortune teller lady was hired for that. That was a resident of that home.
Yeah. So
From the 1800s.
the story is not finished, so I
Oh,
finished work there. It's like it's about midnight. I called Woody because we were living together at the time, and I was like, "Hey, I'm on my way home. You won't believe the kind of night I had." I get on the train, and I'm like, "Okay, good." And I do the thing where I have my headphones in, and this drunk couple sits next to me, and they're talking. And so I just turn my headphones off and listen.
You got
Yep.
to.
And they used to date. They used to date, and it ended horribly, but they are still clearly in love. But she was dating somebody, she's dating somebody else currently, but they had met up. He was at a restaurant, and he waited there for hours for her. She never came. He packed up the food with her, and she was drunk at some other bar, and he picked her up, and he was, like, taking her home on the train, and he lived in a different borough.
If he wanted to, he would.
And she was like talking about her boyfriend, and then she'd pull up photos of the 2 of them, and she'd be like, "Oh, we're so cute," and she'd like rest her head on them, and I was like,
No! That hurts so much!
"Yeah,
No one deserves that.
yeah." They get off. I was really worried that we were gonna get off at the same stop, and
Yeah,
I
I
would
would
like
be too.
be their neighbor. They get off, and then this man in a donkey onesie gets on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, the couple gets off,
Yes. A couple gets off.
Okay.
and a man gets on.
An adult man.
A man and several construction workers.
What
Were they together?
No, what time was it? What time was it?
It was like
Huh?
2 a.m. at
Yes.
this point because the trains were delayed, so I had to
Yes.
keep like switching.
And people are going to work at that time.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Generic donkey or donkey from Shrek?
I would. It was like
Or
it
like
was like
Eeyore?
it was like Timu donkey onesie. It looked like it had been well loved. So he gets on with the construction workers, and it's like the construction workers, me, and another gal, and then the donkey guy.
Is this still happening?
At 2 a.m.
How is this still happening to me?
He's like, okay, I had my phone out just in case I needed to film something.
Yeah.
And I do have
Your murder?
I do have video evidence of this moment. But it's not of him, because I was too afraid to film him.
Yes.
'Cause I didn't want him to comment at me.
Yeah.
They can sense when you're
Yeah.
filming them.
But you can hear him.
Yeah.
And he gets up, and the last two people get off the train besides the construction workers. He stands up and follows them to the door, and then the doors of the subway like shut right in front of his nose. And then he spins around and pulls out this like portable karaoke like thing and starts singing that he is the honking donkey, and he's here to make everybody smile and sing. And then he brings out, I shit you not, a tambourine, a goddamn tambourine. It starts smacking it around, and it is me, these construction workers, and one other person. I don't know what he was trying to do.
He was trying to make your day.
He's trying to make you smile, okay?
Hannah!
I hope it's spreading joy to all of you.
Oh
And-
my god.
No, a bunch of people said they're never gonna move to New York City now.
I was like, people will
Salvador.
not believe this night is real.
No,
If
Like,
that's the
I
story,
sound so crazy.
Yeah.
I don't believe
100%. If
And I
that's the
don't.
story that makes you not want to move to New York, you should absolutely not move to New York, because that was a tame and fun
It's tame.
story.
It's tame. Yeah.
There are worse.
You didn't
So-
fear for your life. One time, this dude accosted me when we were just trying to learn cocktail recipes for the bar we worked at. But the donkey man
The donkey man.
gets off the train, or he goes to the next car. I can't remember. It was literally in 2019.
Yeah, it's a long
This
time
was
ago.
pre-COVID.
This was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, there can literally be nothing else that happens to me.
And you
Because-
can't say that because you summoned
Yes.
them.
And then in a more normal fashion, but it is like 2 a.m. 5 youths get onto the train with skateboards.
Yes.
Okay, so that.
And I'm like, shit. And they just go, it's showtime.
No!
Do cool tricks up and down
It's
this
showtime.
empty subway car with just like me and one other person.
Yeah. It's showtime.
I was like, who are you putting
Did
this
they have
show on
music?
for? No, they didn't. No.
Oh, come on,
No,
y'all.
It wasn't even one of those.
They and the donkey person should get together and use the boombox.
They should.
And I feel like the donkey person would get a lot more like eyes on them with some skateboarders around.
Yeah. They
Oh
got
my
off.
God.
I finally got off on my stop. Oh, and I was waiting for my last fucking train because I lived all the way out in like Timbuktu in Brooklyn. And I called Miles. And I was like, Miles, I just need you to be on the phone with me in case any other weird shit happens to me.
Yeah.
And I was telling him the
fair.
story of this.
I'm clearly about to get abducted by aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. And below me, in a more normal New York fashion, somebody just starts, below me. It was an above ground train.
New York fashion.
Above ground train. Just somebody. Just like while they're walking down the street. Yeah.
What was happening to them?
I don't know. I have no idea.
This is one evening.
This was one evening.
Oh my
One
God.
evening, I got home. Drew was staying over with us because he was in town for like a school thing, and they.
I
had-
remember this visit.
Yes, Woody and
Okay.
Drew had stayed up because I told them that a wild
Yeah.
fucking thing happened to me.
So they were excited to hear about
Yes, and they were like, "You must tell us everything before you go to bed."
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it's fresh.
Yeah,
Wow.
it.
Hannah.
That.
I'm
wow.
glad you're
Yeah.
here with us today.
Great story.
yeah,
That's some fun. That's some fun shit.
and it was because of these that I thought of that. Because whenever I try to
The
describe
fashion
the
prints?
Fashion Week sketches, people kind of like blank stare at me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go.
For the party favor.
Got
I
it.
would have had my fortune told if I was at that party. Instead.
Oh wow, we got there.
Every single person who had their fortune told at that party died the following week.
Maybe. COVID did start soon after that.
Okay.
I think that was in November. So,
She's like, you're going to get very sick.
yeah. Yeah.
I think Drew came and I remember we came over and played D&D.
Yeah,
At your
we
coffee
did.
table.
Mm.
Yeah.
We played our home game.
Thank you
Wow.
for letting me tell that story. I can't believe it's been this long before I've told this story on Bards.
That's insane.
This is why we need to expand the podcast network that we have.
Yeah.
And there just needs to be a podcast network that is this. Or just us doing like,
Weird New York stories.
let's just
Yeah.
talk. It's fun.
That's what
Yeah.
Bards and Crafts says.
There was one. It's not a weird
Thank
New
you for
York story,
guesting.
but during COVID, I remember Woody was working at NASDAQ, and he would just like walk down the center of Fifth Avenue because there was nobody out, no cars, and he was like, "It's surreal. I feel like I'm in a zombie movie."
Yeah.
When else could you walk down the middle of Fifth Avenue and not like get hit by a car?
That is wild.
When I used to have to get up really, really early, when I worked at this place in Hell's Kitchen, to because things would need to be fixed and then delivered to the theater before anyone else got there. It would be that I'd walking through Hell's Kitchen and there's not a single person outside. I would just be like, I'm still in a dream. This isn't happening.
Yeah.
It's really eerie, the rare moments that there's no one else around you in New York.
Yeah, those are the moments I actually feel less safe. I feel more safe when there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's when I get on the subway and there's one other person in the car.
You
I'm
move
like,
cars.
Ooh.
I move cars.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
Right.
so excited about this. Synnove art.
Back when I was doing auditions for the Broadway, and the off-Broadway.
Was it at 3 a.m. when we get in lines?
Yes. So
I can't believe you did that.
if you plan on coming to New York as a non-equity, not represented actor, it's rough.
It's rough for the represented too. Like 'cause
I can't
you
speak.
still
I
have to
cannot
stand
speak
in
for
line.
them.
Yeah. You still have to. You
Yeah.
have to grind.
Mm-hmm. It's a rough grind. There were many mornings of waking up at like 3 to take the train to somewhere in Midtown. Sometimes it was 8th Avenue. Sometimes it was Times Square,
Yeah.
where the Actors Equity Building is, and put your name on a list to then later be
Put your name on a list.
put your name on a list.
Yeah.
And then maybe be seen.
and then maybe
maybe.
be seen. You were not guaranteed. Like I believe for equity, auditions, they would be seen, and they could be seen at like any time. And so there's a lovely website that I forget the name of because I've blocked so much of this out. There's a website where you can. It's like kind of like a forum essentially where people can be like, all right, whoever's at this audition, like, have they told non-X to go home? Essentially,
Yeah.
is the only fucking thing. Or like, do we
Yeah.
think they're gonna see anybody?
And this is pre-COVID because they've changed
yeah.
some things now.
I'm sure. But I, one morning, walked through Times Square, and I was the only person in Times Square.
Fucking sick. At like
All of
3
the
a.m.
lights were on, so everything was on, and I was just walking.
That's scary.
Best
It
time to be
was-
in Times Square if you have to.
Yeah, it felt eerie. It was cold
Yeah.
because a lot of these auditions happen during the winter
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, they do.
So you're freezing your ass off.
Yeah.
I remember one time I had to poop,
A Dan story.
and I was just standing on the sidewalk in a line.
Where is this going?
Oh, it's going nowhere.
Okay.
I have
I was still holding
a
on to
mighty
it.
amount of self-control.
I can clench like the best of them.
I was unhappy, but unsoiled. That's my memoir. Yeah, end of story.
Yeah, there was.
Goddamn.
Y'all.
I remember having to get up at like 3 a.m. to take a train to get there at 4 a.m. to stand in line and wait for the building to open at 6 a.m.
Yep.
But you like make I made friends that way, and like everybody's kind of like there for each other because we're like, well, it sucks, but at least we can look out for each other.
Yeah.
Or like Woody and I would meet Will at the Actors Ec building, and it would just be the three of us, and nobody else was there, and we just like vibe and go on Reddit and chill. But you sometimes are just like never seen.
Yeah.
It's tough. It weeds out the weak ones for sure.
It do. But there are many different ways up the mountain, and I think we've found a very fun. We've made our own theater.
Devised theater.
Device theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of-
I get to be in it.
Have we? I'm sure we've
There's
missed,
so
we've
many
missed
questions.
So many questions.
People want to know if I was still wearing the maid outfit during the subway. Fuck no.
You had to give it back. It wasn't
I
yours.
did. They wanted it back.
Yeah.
They wanted it back
They wanted it back.
to give to some other unsuspecting
Yeah.
temp.
That is
I did see some very
Horrendous.
good stream questions.
like where?
I mean, it was a while ago because so much has happened.
Hannah and Rachel, this is from Z.
Mm.
There are obviously a lot of different sibling cliches and characteristics. Is there any you think Synnove and Valor had as a kid?
Other than like the stereotypical like eldest child, third parent.
I mean, that's the biggest one.
That was the biggest one because their parents were gone most of the time.
Yeah.
Which I think we've talked about.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, their parents
Yeah.
were gone the majority of the time. So
Mhm.
like the top 3 oldest siblings, and Lenore was the second oldest.
Nicola, Lenore, and Novak.
So they each kind of had like 3 or 4 younger siblings that it was almost like they were in charge of. And
That's a lot of kids.
yeah, and Lenore had like the middle cluster, with Synnove being her favorite of the 3. But she loved all of them in the way that a third parent loves all the kids that they raise.
Yeah, yeah. And then Oksana got off easy. They didn't have to do shit. But they were old enough to party.
Well, they were in the...
Oksana and Casimir. They were raised by Nicola.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they were raised by Nicholas, so they got to do whatever they wanted.
Wow.
Yeah. But you know what? None of them know how to swim.
I don't know.
Canonically.
Canonically, none of them
To
know.
me.
Okay, then it's canon.
Yeah, I mean, a lot's happened. It's been a while, you know, since I've been there, but I'm trying to think of, like, the sibling cliches. I think a lot of the classic, like, when other people are talking and you're just looking at your sibling, like, oh, we know what's happening. But I don't know if that's, like, a cliche in this type of context that you're asking about.
No.
We do that a lot on stream. I feel like if people were listening to just the podcast, which is a totally valid way of listening, you would miss a lot of us like looking at each other and like mouthing whole conversations that like aren't very audible.
Yeah. Or secret conversations.
Secret conversations.
I think the only other stereotype, I don't know, is that Synnove like was not a black sheep, but kind of like she doesn't really. We've talked about that the way that Lenore speaks was kind of similar to how Katari speaks, and that's kind of similar to how like a lot of our siblings spoke, where it's like more blunt, you know?
Yes, very direct.
Yeah, very direct. And Synnove wasn't. She was also just like head up in the clouds. That like kind of stereotypical like she doesn't fit.
Sure.
She's
Yes.
a little different.
And she was one of the only ones that did it, which is one of the big reasons like Lenore wanted to protect her and like how she handled things and went about things from like the older siblings who were very much like there's only one way to do things. And it was like, no, let Synnove be special and different and talk to people and charm people and like just try life her own way rather than like there's only the one good way to do it. And a lot of their other siblings were a part of like the same job. They were part of the same.
Trying to think of how we could say it
Yeah.
in a way.
They were part of the same job, like thing
Job
going
umbrella.
umbrella going on. So they're very much just like
Job umbrella.
wanting their younger siblings to be
I
like
forgot
them,
mine at home.
wanting their younger siblings to follow their path and be like them.
Yeah.
Whereas what I think was special about Synnove and Lenore's relationship was Lenore did not like push
No.
Synnove to be a certain way, but was like, because you're so different, you're gonna go so much farther than I ever could and do a different path and like have ambition that I never had, but like that's amazing that you're different.
That's how I feel about my younger siblings.
Yeah.
I like said Miles would be the hottest and most talented of us all. And it's turned out to be true.
Oh my god. I love Miles. I miss Miles.
Me too.
I haven't seen him in a second.
I tried to get him to come for Bards and Crafts, but he had to clean his apartment.
Oh my god, multiple people have asked, so I think we do have to answer.
What is it?
Katari. Katari's so tall that you have to cut off a little bit of feet and the name. It's all
That's
there.
So good. I
It's just
love
cut
the,
off in the frame.
belt, like it's like kind of ombre.
I know. It's so cool. 2 really good questions.
Ask away.
Okay. Speaking of fave siblings, rewording an earlier silly question, I had something a tiny bit more genuine. Which Baron is your/your character's favorite? We haven't met yet. It's gonna be Maravix for Valor, but let's just... We just all know it.
Yeah.
I was called out. I've been called out on it. I'm gonna continue to be called out on it. I believe Christine worded it best in our Discord that I don't want to misquote Christine. It was something along the lines of Valor loses all semblance of a spine whenever she's around a female authority figure. So if Maravix is as cool as I think, it'll probably be Maravix.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's probably Maravix, and then Aelys, and then Gary.
I don't know if I
For
can
Valor.
pick. For Synnove, it's Aelys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Kyle?
It's gotta be Gary. For Kyle.
For teaching you chess?
Gary.
Gary's the best.
Yeah, if Gary had given me a rock, it would have been different.
Yeah.
Could have given me a rock.
Fucking
think-
Gary.
Fucking Gary. I mean, obviously and I feel like for most of the Golden Sentinels, like, Aelys is part of our party.
Yeah, that's the person we know the best.
Yeah. So, like, obviously.
Yep.
I miss my Aelys baby.
We can figure out a way to safely dispose of all this glass.
Hi, fancy class. Are you having a moment?
Or make art out of it. And then there was another question right after that. Earlier, Kyle, we did say you would answer very specific questions. This is very specific. How did JB feel seeing child Aelys in the Faded Realm?
I mean, we never really interrogated that.
We
So, like,
didn't.
we
You
don't-
looked sad though.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
We all were, yeah.
sad.
Yes, we all were very sad.
But, like, there wasn't really time to, like,
Yes.
Process the
int-
trauma.
like, or, like, no, like, interrogate, like, what the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like maybe in a different circumstance it would be like, what do you mean the younger self of our friend that we just lost is right over there?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
we should try to find that person. But JB was definitely confused and sad, but I don't know. Nothing really ended up happening with it.
No.
It was just like an emotional beat.
Yeah.
You know?
We were kind of just like, makes sense.
Yeah, it fucking sucks and it's sad. I think that's what the purpose was.
I'll tinfoil hat about it. Was
Yeah.
that part, and maybe I'm just forgetting that this was confirmed, was that aspect of Aelys the one that she lost when she lost her magic?
That's beautiful and sad.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Sounds like a Champion Brother special.
But it's like also I like not
Beautiful
never
and sad.
knowing the answer to that because it is more fun to like poetically speculate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although if it was something that Will laid out for us, and then we don't follow it, that would be funny too.
There was a lot of things happening
So much.
in the Faded Realm, to be fair. We just didn't have the proper time to process anything.
We were getting so fucking faded.
I
Yeah.
do see NB Chan Games ask how Woody is doing. He's doing well. Yeah. He's recovering. And he's good. We were just on the phone with him earlier today.
Literally
He
like
sounded
2 hours
really
ago.
good. Yeah, he's finishing up his semester at grad school.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the well wishes.
Yeah, and he appreciates it. He really wishes he was here.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to do this for his future, but he also wishes he was here.
Yeah.
And
This
we-
is not gonna fit, and I
We
cannot cut off any of this.
You can find a different frame.
Yeah, this will have to go in a different frame.
Let me see.
Kyle, can I hand
This
this
is
to you
very,
to
like,
put in the art pile?
Stranger
Thank you.
Things.
I know, doesn't
It
it?
does sound like a bit like that.
Mhm.
Looking for highlighted
Let's
messages.
see. Oh, someone is coloring and listening. Hi, I'm glad you're also doing a craft.
If you all want questions answered, if you highlight your text, it's easier for us to see that that's a question. Because I'm blind.
It only costs a couple points.
The other day when we were unboxing something and you were recording it, but you didn't have your glasses on, so you couldn't see
I
anything.
couldn't see anything.
It was so funny.
And I was really close. Like,
I
and
know.
I still couldn't see
I
them.
know. It was really funny. Oh, hydrate.
I'll hydrate with this water that I'm drinking.
We know how your characters are doing with losing Aelys and the memories of her, but how are your players doing? It is tough for me because I have to keep track of so many things that I know and don't know, or I know and don't remember, or I remember but it feels like it didn't happen to my character. I have a list. So as Valor said, inconvenient.
Inconvenient.
But how I actually feel is I just miss sitting next to my #1 shipper, and friend, John, a sweet legume.
Yeah.
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 But in terms of like dealing with like the memory issues and things, I was like, when it happened, I was like, well, at least Valor's used to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But it's a lot just like mentally to keep up with, and I like don't want to make a mistake and then send people into like a tinfoil spiral, and it's just because I messed up.
But it's okay if you mess
But it
up.
happens.
Yeah.
Yes. And John's here, our sweet legume.
Hi, Johnny boy. I think for me, I wasn't expecting that to be what Will did. I thought it would be something else. I don't know what, but whatever. For Synnove, she heard the story of it again, and that's enough for her. But she also knew about the Silurian, has like a few extra memories from it, and still has that connection to Synnove because of Stella, or to Aelys because of Stella. So hearing like all of what happened, that's like, she's like, okay, I love this person, and I feel that is true in my heart, and so it's kind of like business as usual for her.
Yeah.
Still.
The question is also about you, Hannah.
Me, Hannah?
Yes. I believe that was the question, was we know how the characters are dealing with it, but how do you guys as players feel about
Like,
it?
am I sad? No. Sorry, John.
Huh?
I'm just like, okay, cool plot point. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inconvenient. John.
Yeah, John.
More work on my brain.
Come back to us, John.
Jarned. It was specifically about the memory stuff, right?
Yeah.
We said it at the same time in the same intonation.
Sometimes you speak when I'm editing TikToks, and I think it's me.
Really?
When I'm looking away and I hear someone talk, and I'm like, I don't remember saying that. And then it's actually Rachel speaking.
That's why
so
there's
funny.
that whole debate on who said, whether it was me or you, that said that John was chronically online. And some people were like, no, Rachel said it. And other people were like, no, Hannah said it.
It's like the Berenstein.
I can't do this right now.
Yeah, it's definitely super sad.
I'm almost done.
And also just hard to wrap the mind around, like your character remembering something but not actually remembering it, like knowing what happened but not really having those, like, that experience. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. Hera plays.
What?
Is there anything particular you want to see from the fan fiction writers? I like this question. I'll
All of
answer
it.
it.
Do
My
it.
favorite fan fiction is, for Bards of New York and for any fan fiction, is when people write the moments in between, or like people write from the point of view, like the internal point of view of somebody.
Yeah.
So you can hear their thoughts about like a moment that happened.
Okay.
I really like those because those moments in between are left up to interpretation, but have the scaffolding of the text that is the show around them.
Yeah.
It just feels like it enriches the world. That's how I got onto Tumblr, actually, was I was reading Hunger Games fan fiction
Oh my god.
that was like scenes written from like Peta's perspective and
Yeah.
Primrose's perspective and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and I just really loved that. I thought it was so cool and made it like feel richer. Also smut.
I'll agree with that.
And also,
I'll,
and most importantly, treason is like that's you with smut.
And also, and most importantly,
That's
smut.
you.
oh my god.
Please continue, my love. I'm sorry.
I like how you framed that of like I'm trying to think of good words for it, but like I do enjoy when it is those moments of like inner life or like side moments that like it kind of just like adds to the, I don't know, I'm having a hard time.
It builds out the world.
Yeah, it is kind of like enriching. It's building out, and there's nothing wrong with like making like your own thing that's completely different. But,
Oh, I
like,
love the AU stuff too. I think it's so fun.
I love
Thank
you guys
you.
working
That
in a
is-
coffee shop.
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know.
It's all great.
I don't have any requests.
It's all good, and it's all wonderful to read and see. There's so much of it that now I'm like, damn, I can't keep up with it, which is so cool. But I
Yeah.
feel like on like days where I'm not doing anything, I'm like, okay, now I can sit down and like catch up on some fan fiction.
Yeah, I totally
So if
do
I don't
that.
react to everything, know that I'm reading everything. My little ADHD brain gets overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Woo.
there's a lot. I don't read it all in a row. Like, I'll like not read any for a while and then read a bunch in a row. Hi, Eva!
Eva with bubbles on the chin. That's so cute.
Yeah, I love because we jump moment to moment, you know what I mean? Even though I could sit and roleplay like a full actual 8-hour day, you know? But we jump moment to moment, so it is kind of fun to see the interpretation of like what those fireside chats are and what things are like at times that you guys don't see. And it really freaks me out sometimes when I read dialogue and I'm like, yep, that's how we all sound, and it kind of freaks me out in a good way
That's
because it's
cool.
just like it's like I was saying earlier when y'all roast us on like dumb shit our characters do or character flaws. It just feels very seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there've been a couple where I'm like, ooh, you know Synnove's inner life a little, like, better than I would expect somebody to.
Yeah, there's some
Yeah.
inner monologue stuff where I'm like, people like were picking up what I was putting down, and it's
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah, it is. So keep writing it, because it's cool. And y'all are great
It's so
writers.
fun.
It's so
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah,
It's so fun to read. And I feel like I'm learning how to be a better writer from it, which is nice.
Yeah.
Particularly, we're not gonna be inappropriate about this, but writing smut is difficult because you want it to like further the story or further the emotional journey typically.
Mhm.
Otherwise, just go watch porn. But like going from like more of a narrative, like prose into then like the smut is a tough transition to do. That's a technical thing, and some of y'all do it really well.
absolutely.
And just all of your ideas are really cool.
All the poems that people shared, like then I was like, ooh, I've never shared poetry with anyone other than Kyle, and I was like, oh, like it inspired me to like do that. It's just been very cool.
Mm-hmm.
The whole Discord community and like place we have.
You're gonna read a poem. I've heard.
I am.
Yeah,
Not right now, but like.
but you've
later.
committed to doing it.
Yes.
Yes. Excellent. Good.
I was like, now?
Right now. Right now.
No. There's an art to it. You have to practice.
Next question.
Yeah.
There are 3 separate questions, but I think
Oh,
that
wow.
they're good questions. That's from Vesper. Rachel, waves? Question mark. Please explain.
Grew up in a beach town. I love waves.
Do you want to explain the context in case somebody listening to this or watching this?
Yeah.
isn't on our
So
Discord?
on our Discord, I, for a very long time, actually, have been reacting to certain things with a wave emoji. And there are certain things about Valor and Synnove, certain things about Lenore, certain things about where they are from. And it was recently noticed.
After months.
It's been months. And it's very sparing, and then sometimes I'll like do a wave emoji to like 3 things in a day. It just depends on what people are posting. So it has. it has a meaning. I think it'll be revealed one day. I think through actions. I think partially through if y'all ever get their whole song from their home. Maybe you'll understand a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I cannot wait to give you the lore of the cult. But
It's gonna
We've
be
been a little
wild.
it's
busy.
gonna be wild.
And Katari never asks about it.
She does not.
So you're not getting it from Synnove.
She does not want to know.
Well, the deal that Synnove and Katari made, I think it was like... No, I don't remember. I think it was like, you teach me about your path, and you have to be nice to me. So it wasn't
Yeah.
like, I have to teach you about stuff.
Yeah,
But then
no.
it became...
I don't know if she wants to fucking know about the heresy
Hey.
in her eyes.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like if you
know.
guys started explaining it, she would like attack.
And that's why they'll never be able to be in a healthy relationship.
Damn.
Okay! Next part of the question from Vesper.
In Rachel's opinion, don't come for me, Tangerine.
Hannah, can you describe Stella in one word? God.
Would you like to do a second special word?
A second special
Because I
word?
feel like we all knew it was God.
Sus.
My precious baby.
That was not one word, but all
3 words. My
I'll
precious
allow it.
baby. I'm giving you extra words because of the special Bards and Crafts. Stella is my precious baby. For many reasons. For many, many reasons.
Yeah.
Kyle, does
Yes.
JB ever write poetry? That's
No.
also from Vesper. No?
I don't love answering no, but I don't think that that's JB's way of form of expression that he drifts to. So I don't think he would do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's more of a
How does he express himself? Artistically.
dance.
Through his fists.
You know,
I'm
maybe
in blood.
maybe that's something that he does need to find. Maybe he needs to find that.
A hobby?
Outlet?
Yeah.
Hey,
Because he hasn't been talking about his feelings.
most men need hobbies. It's that male loneliness epidemic. If they had more hobbies, they probably wouldn't be lonely.
Hobbies also means more friends to do your hobbies with.
That's how it works.
And things to talk about. Jamie can be like, I just got up on this pottery class.
Yeah.
Made some sick bowls. I took college pottery when I was in high school, and there was a kid who legitimately made a bong for his final project.
What did he get?
I think he passed.
Yeah.
He passed, he just said it was a vase.
So fair.
Even though the teacher was like, we all know what this is.
Hannah, a
It's
good
just an artistic.
clarifying question.
Uh-huh.
When you say special baby, do you mean Hannah's special baby or Synnove? Or is it both?
Hannah's special baby. Yeah.
I think it was a good clarifying question.
But Synnove loves her too.
Yeah.
Synnove loves her.
Mhm.
Yeah. It makes me so sad. It makes me really sad also that Synnove was like, okay, I'm going with Ishtava. Even though Synnove doesn't know that it's Ishtava, she just does the cloak and Krana.
Yeah.
Makes me sad. Because I love Stella.
Yeah. I know.
Hurts. Hurts.
She's bad. She's.
But the cloak answers Synnove's call when she needs it.
Yeah.
Stella's kind of bad news bears.
Synnove doesn't know that.
Synnove doesn't know that. And
Nope.
and Lenore never made that clear either
No.
about what would happen.
Nope. Didn't make it clear. Synnove still doesn't know some stuff that happened.
We still don't
She
know
knows
stuff
that
that's
Stella
happening.
was there or like Stella was like on board with killing Lenore, obviously, because there was that beautiful conversation, very difficult conversation.
She knows that she was pleased, but Synnove
Yeah.
thinks that was just like, you know, when you're like mad at your sibling and you say things you don't mean. Like in Synnove's brain, that's what it was. It was like,
Yeah.
you don't mean that. You're just mad.
Mad that she's not actually dead.
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot because obviously Valor still remembers what she knew as Lenore about Stella, but it's just like never been something to like come into conversation organically.
I'm sure it will come up.
I think so. I was just like, there's no reason to rush it.
No.
I mean, maybe spoilers for this past week, but like, we learned about, or we heard about the like important figures in Calanthus. One of which
I
being
know.
um,
The Living Light. I know, Bria, if you're still in chat, I know Bria probably fucking knows some shit.
Yep.
monster.
Tell us.
So that was pretty wild, and it would make sense because a year has passed.
Yeah.
So like shit has progressed
Yeah.
in the Church of the Soul.
Mm-hmm.
SOL. Yeah. You've sown the seeds of our destruction.
I wanted to make a cult since Genesis.
And you succeeded.
And I've made
Multiple
multiple
times.
cults now.
Yep.
Well, that was like the day of Undeath and like all that Will and I world built together. I was like, yeah, there's a cult of liches
Yeah.
that kill Istava. That's fun.
Why not?
Istava fucks around and then found out.
Don't we have one of their books? I fucking
Yes.
forgot about that shit.
Yes.
There's so
Synnove
much.
has never forgotten about that book. Just because Valor fucking has it, she knows she can't get it because it talks.
You'll never be able to get it out of my cold dead hands.
Wow.
I will probably use it at some point. I'm very excited, but it'll be when you cannot get to it.
God, I just like Hannah wants to know what's in there.
Yeah.
And Synnove just loves a talking book.
Yeah.
There just hasn't been time, and like we've also had a lot of wonderful, amazing special guests, and so I think we're very good about like sharing time and sharing space. That was a
Yeah.
question someone asked at some point about balancing like the interpersonal RP with all the plot, and I think it's us having to set aside as actors like, oh, I'd love to know that, or like I'd love to have this conversation. We have other people at the table. We have multiple stories and romances and breakups and important plots going on, or we have people that we have a shorter period of time with. So I think we're very good about, while being authentic to the characters, giving space to everyone at the table. You know, because we could sit down and hash out Synnove and Valor shit for like 12 hours
We could.
straight without stopping. But Bards is an ensemble, and there's always a bunch of us here and a bunch of really interesting stories, and we're all fans of each other's characters. And so it's like balancing the like having those little personal moments while having insane plot things happening and insane fights. And I think it's also fun, and I learned it from watching you guys, about like interjecting those character choices while we're having fights, while we're having those big things.
You did a great job.
Thank you. But I learned that watching Ballad, because in our home game when we first started, I did not do that. It was like fights were very mechanical for me as I was learning how to play.
Yeah.
So that was, I jumped a couple questions, but I saw that and I just wanted to address it. So I thought it was a good question. I think it's a lot of intentional, like creating space for each other and everyone who's here.
Yeah, that is a thing. Like, it just makes me think of like when Abria was here, and I remember I was like, Synnove wanted to talk to Decima because Decima was clearly associated with like things that she's interested in. But I also, Hannah as an actor, was like, it might open the door for like Decima to share something about themselves that we as the audience haven't learned.
Yeah.
And I feel like we do that for each other a lot, and that's a fun game, is to like, it's that improv bid of like, okay, reveal something.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You extend a hand and give the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I love improv.
Improv's
Woody
great.
said he was like, I went to grad school, and in all the devised stuff, all the improv stuff, all the like thinking on your feet shit, he's like, we've been doing this for 5 years, and it's so easy because of that, because of Bards.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love to hear that.
This has definitely been like a perfect marriage of like my experience performing growing up and all that kind of stuff. Like, I've done improv since I was in like the 3rd grade. Every summer I would go to an improv camp. Like the little nerd I am.
You got a lot of bitches, didn't you?
You paused after you said perfect marriage for just a second, and I was like, oh my gosh, was that the sentence?
Keep talking. I'm gonna find a new song to play, even though this song does slap.
It does.
Oh my gosh.
But yes, I think that I really love improvising with y'all, and like it is really cool that this is this is a like sub. It started out as like oh yeah, like D&D and like you can stream D&D. It's just like the game. It's like no, this is also theater. This is also like a subgenre of devised theater, subgenre of improv. Yeah, it's performance, and it's such an enriching like personal experience as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are super lucky, and thank you for watching, because that is amazing.
That's what makes this possible.
Playlist ends it. I forgot about that.
While you're looking, I will answer a very short question that I saw from Fox Spotter. How did you decide on the name Valor for your character's comeback? That was, I knew I wanted to do a V name, and it was the first name I thought of, and then I was like, I don't know. I think I remember telling you about it, and I was like, I don't know. It feels like it's too much. I'll keep thinking on it. And then I had a list of different possibilities in my phone, and every day I just kept coming back to Valor, and I was like, I don't know. It's just like, nothing else seems to fit, but I just don't know if it's like too much as a name. And then I remember deciding I would do it, and I sent it to Will, and I think he just in all caps was like, Valor goes crazy.
I can see that.
And then I was, because
Let me know if that's too loud.
I knew I wanted it to be a V for Vikestar and to go with that, but also it's a thing with how hollows have names. It needed to be kind of like a concept.
Which is, it's so like fascinating that you picked Valor, because like we decided that there was like some kind of tiefling bloodline infernal bloodline within our family, and like in the classic D&D of it all with tieflings, you're like named after like traits like mercy or temperance or something like that, and you chose Valor.
Yeah, it's a thing with I will maybe share it at some point, like not like the whole information about the hollows, because a lot hasn't been shown yet. But yeah, it's a concept, and it has to do with your purpose that you are brought back.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick. My sweet baby. I don't know if you guys, you can't see it with Kyle's computer, but Ava's being very cute with Kyle.
She's like,
Let's see. Oh, some people just caught up and are watching live for the first time.
Hey!
Welcome. Or watching live again. Welcome back.
Welcome.
hell
That's so
yeah.
exciting.
I see a question for...
Grab some more.
Has anyone, or are there plans to have your episodes turned into a written book? There are plans for that right now. We have talked about the...
Or are not?
There are not.
Okay.
Sorry, I did not articulate that very well. There are not. Aren't. But we have like talked about how Dark Age would be like an anime, Nightmare Crew would be like a book. I mean, Nightmare Crew could be an anime as well, but in my brain, Nightmare Crew is like a multi-POV, multiple novels series. Yeah.
Yes.
And you have like Callias' POV, Lilith, Ryujin's, Embers, Leonidas, and then like Rek when he comes along, and you just like experience the world through their different chapters, much like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And I think that...
Honestly, Brandon Sanderson, hit us up.
I think that also is because of the way Woody started the campaign with like the individual one-shots where you like start with one character and how they got to Camden Mesa, which I thought was a brilliant choice that he did.
Absolutely. In that way, it's kind of like a little like storybook fantasy and and like classic in so many ways and like new and different in many others.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Dark Ages and anime, that's one of how earlier we were saying we listen to like pre-show music. A lot of it is from animes. And also like whenever we have to describe a fight or describe a cool visual moment in someone's brain, I am seeing it in my head like as an anime.
Yeah.
And that's affecting how I describe it.
Yeah, we're all fans of anime too, and it's like a shared language that we all have. So I think like when we describe things, we pick up on it because of that.
Yeah. I can see the influence.
Yeah. I was raised by Full Metal Alchemist.
Sweet Legume.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist. I used to for literal years. Woody's contact picture in my phone was Alex Louise Armstrong.
Oh my god! And that turned into Rittenhask.
Yep.
Let's see.
I see. What is the weirdest world setting you've played a game in that made it hard to immerse yourself in?
What is the weirdest setting that we've played a game in?
Yeah.
Is it not Honey Heist?
I don't
was-
remember.
I know.
I was dropped in.
Apparently.
I was so immersed in Honey Heist that I don't remember
So
the
I'm
contents
gonna
of Honey
move
Heist.
this
All I remember is the moment you revealed whatever energy you came with at us with.
Because I
and
didn't.
I blacked out after that.
Because I didn't. I wasn't wearing. I don't think I was wearing the helmet. If you haven't watched Honey Heist, I'm
You
sorry.
should. You
You should,
should.
and I'm sorry. I wasn't wearing the helmet, but I had it, and I was like waiting. And then right when we started the show, I think is when I was like,
You went off camera and then came back with like sunglasses and a helmet or some shit. That is all I
You're
remember.
weird.
And then I cannot remember a single goddamn thing after that. And people in the reaction threads on our Discord will talk about it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I love
What
reading
did we
quotes.
do?
I love reading quotes from Honey Heist that I said, and I'm like, no, the fuck I didn't.
One of my favorite things, thank you all Bardlings who do this, when I get home from work, I read aloud to Kyle every quote in quote book that is from him.
Apparently, I've said many things.
It's one of my favorite like getting home rituals. So we have so much. Look at this. Look at this fashion show down here.
Wow.
The only one I couldn't fit. So some of them you like can't see our feet for like a hot second, or you can't see the name.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at your shoes.
Yeah, but the only one I couldn't frame was the Aelys one because I would have had to physically cut some of the dress or cut the name off, which I don't want to. And also, you have amazing handwriting, Gravel. So these are what we have framed for now. And I think.
I'm looking at the screen.
I know. I need you guys to stay.
You want us
seated.
to? Okay.
I need you guys to stay seated.
Huh.
I'm just gonna keep sliding.
It's gonna be very hard
Don't
for
mind me.
Chat, if you have ideas for where we want to hang these, shout them out.
I just think we're gonna have to rearrange some stuff, which is fine.
That's fine.
Because it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames, and we're gonna have a 7th once we have a frame that fits Aelys where I don't have to cut off any of the art. But like these are gonna be so cool hung up, and they're decent size. They might not all be visible on camera. I also want them to look nice for us to enjoy seeing.
Yeah. I mean, they might. There's a world in which I don't know how they would look like on the wall back there in John's dirty little corner.
So there is an issue with I think it's hard to see on screen. The
Oh, it
molding.
is.
Mm.
The wall's
Got
not
moldings
flat.
there.
Yeah. It's that pre-war charm.
Pre-war charm. Where my toilet is constantly running. It like sweats.
There's a world actually. You know what?
Sweaty toilet.
You know what?
What?
Oh. Yes. Okay. Okay. Follow me.
Okay.
Where are we going?
One, Dan was saying how actually having the sound panels higher up is better anyways.
He said split. Like spread out, not higher up.
Okay. I will figure this out. So I was thinking since we have like 8 of these and we need more space, but we have 4 of these pastels that go well together, I think these 4 could actually go move to that wall
Okay.
around Thinker and above Hareem Lord Hareem. But then we can do these 8 once we have all of them as kind of a layered here, but I would have to move these sound panels down.
If we move them down, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, chat?
I'm so happy. These are just amazing, and it just makes it. I want them all on the same wall, so it looks like the cool New York fashion show that they are.
Yeah.
Like I want them together.
Oh, I love it. I was in a work meeting today. I was in a webinar today.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
these were in the background, and I was like, I look cool.
My art. My fancy art. So I'm gonna move these things to safety. Alright. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But then we need to figure out how we want those. We also need better tape to keep these flat. It's hard because of we want everyone in chat to be
I can
able
try
to
to do that.
see the art for the most part.
can
They
work
don't
on it.
have the plexi and the glass in front of them.
Yeah, we take the glass out of all the frames so that the cameras or the lights don't reflect off of them.
Yeah.
I'll grab some tape and work on that.
I can hand it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kyle, what craft are you working on?
Fox Potter asks, "Are those the gala outfits? They are amazing. Those will have to be posted in the Discord. They, I believe, they are posted in the Discord. Gravel, I don't know if you're in chat or not. They are somewhere. They're in some thread. I don't know if the colored versions are, but the like sketch versions are.
I think someone was on the same wavelength as me and said I should hang it behind where I sit because I have the most space. Thank you guys for understanding me.
Sweaty toilet is an absolute nightmare.
Did you say those words?
My toilet, it just like runs all the time.
Oh.
Since the super messed with it recently. I mean, they're always messing with
I
toilet
didn't
for some
hear you
reason.
say that, so I thought it was just like completely out of pocket.
The problem is
No.
you have like the tankless
Yeah,
thing.
so I can't have a
and
bidet.
it's like it's just the pipe, and I think that there's just something that isn't that doesn't like fully seal, so there's just always a little bit of water going through.
Probably. Yeah. And so like it like sweats.
Yeah. That
It's
Okay.
a cold sweat. I don't know if that
Right.
makes it better.
Great, love that.
But now you know. My bathroom is pretty cute for an old like 1930s bathroom. I've tried to make it cute.
You've done amazing, and you've inspired me to redo our bathroom.
Oh really?
Yeah. Once we have like some stuff fixed.
Rachel is so upset about how the ceiling of her bathroom looks, and I had to break it to her that in all of our years of friendship, I have never, not once, looked at her ceiling in her bathroom.
fucking
I look
shocking.
at your ceilings because I care.
Oh my god.
Ask your
Because
friends.
I
Do they look at the
care.
ceiling in your home?
That's not care.
Do you remember who did the embroidery? It's so cute.
Which
Oh
one?
shoot! I mean, I did the D20 one that you can see. I did that during COVID. Doing cross stitch was my activity in
That-
COVID. I made Kyle and Rachel a cute little D20.
says
Oh, I should post a photo of that. It's a D20 with a little cat.
Yeah.
I would post a photo of that. It's in our bookcase.
That looks like it says CK.
They left a note. It's one of the notes on here,
There
but
we
I
go.
can't remember off the top of my head who it was. If you're in chat, shout it out. But
Dox yourself.
it's
Oh,
beautiful.
don't worry.
And they did it without a pattern, which I could not do.
Wild.
Couldn't be me.
I need command strips.
Do I have those?
You do not, but thank you for guarding the other tools.
I cross stitch. Yeah, cross stitch is great. I love a cross stitch and an embroidery. I love a hobby. I love a craft.
I'm a cross stitch bitch.
You are a cross stitch bitch.
Look at Eva sitting right in front of you. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
All right, I'm looking through questions that are highlighted.
I'm gonna add stuff to the.
You're doing your own type
I'm
of
doing
craft.
bard?
Yeah.
Oh, are you doing merch?
Kyle, what craft
I-
are you doing?
So I kept jumping around. I am doing merch in a larger sense. I don't know what that meant.
Yeah, that was weird.
My brain is cooked right now for some reason. For the summertime, I've been trying to make some fun merch on our merch store. Check out our merch store. You can find one of these fun corduroy hats
Yeah.
that says the ultimate gold quote of "Nothing but exceptional."
Nothing but
Um,
exceptional.
On
I
the back
work
it says
constantly.
New York.
I get so many compliments on that hat.
It's
It's
really
great.
It's really well made.
It's
It is.
cute. It's
Um,
the corduroy one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it not maybe perfect for the sooner. I'm wondering how warm it's gonna be. But it's still a fucking excellent
Fashion
hat.
is everything.
I am excited about summer merch.
Yeah,
because
I've
I'm
been
a tank
making-
top gal.
I've been making summer merch. And so part of that is just that's my craft. That's my craft.
I'm happy for
Filthy
you.
Stinky 20 asks, can you make a poster that has all the characters on it in addition to the single character art ones?
I
No.
would like to. The problem that I run into, and maybe it's a question I need to ask Anna,
Anna.
is that they are because they're so like amazing
They
and
really
have
are.
and
Yeah.
have so much behind them, it's very hard, if not impossible, to isolate the character.
Oh,
we would just need to ask for that.
Yeah.
That would be easy.
Yeah.
We just need to
Um,
talk to Anna about it.
Yeah.
Anna, if you're in chat.
And if
But
you're in
I
chat,
hope you're asleep. It's late where you are.
or don't sleep. Who cares?
You're an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you should sleep.
I care.
But yeah, I'm making some tanks and stuff. Whenever new stuff comes out on we use Printful.
So if you go on Printful and you see something
Yeah.
that you want, let us know. Somebody asked about pop sockets, which I thought was such a good idea.
I do
Printful
think
does
that's-
not do pop
No,
sockets.
but they should.
They really should.
Fucking at them. And they do add stuff all of the time, which is really lovely.
Tell them you want it.
There's a knitted cardigan, an all over print knitted cardigan that came out. I made a cool thing. It is only available in China. I don't know why it told me that after I spent 30 minutes designing it, but you know.
By the way, bro.
By the way, bro, we know you guys are international.
That's funny.
Yeah, so there's that. But so if you have any ideas, always go to the merch channel. But just for right now, if anything comes to mind, we don't have an infinite ability to. Also, like if you know, I'm also looking into because we could technically link a different site to the Square site. So like if we were like I've looked into getting pins, like enamel pins, but there is not a equivalent. Like there's not a print on demand kind of situation for that.
We're just not set up to.
Yeah.
I don't have the infrastructure yet.
We don't have the
yeah.
infrastructure yet to do these things. But one day.
Yeah. So it's definitely in the future. But
Yeah, I would love a like sentinel, like what you were looking at earlier. Yeah, would love a little sentinel pendant that's like just sterling silver or something like that. That'd be really nice.
there is stuff. There's stuff that we would be able to get, but not a way for us to be able to like sell it. It might. I've had the thought of doing like. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, the merch is really fun. Like it's like a playground kind of for us. And like the other day, I was like crying socks. We're making them.
I like it because I like looking at it and being like, what would I like to wear? Like, what do I think would be cool, and what would I like from a thing that I'm a fan of? Because I love fan merch when it's like very cool and like well thought out and like is fashionable, not just like a movie poster.
Yeah.
Like plastered to a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I also do love this. I love me some graphic tees, baby. This is from Redbubble. This is I'm wearing this shirt. It's one that I wore for Ember a lot when he came back and he was
That very big reveal.
a necromancer kitty. Yeah. So
I think.
I have no.
Oh my god, you're
other
so
place
smart,
to wear
Hannah.
this.
Should I grab more? I'm gonna grab.
I have no other
You're
place to wear
so
this.
smart. I wore that when I did my cosplay of you.
You did.
Yeah.
I do miss our Nightmare Crew babies.
Yeah.
It's so fun
Yeah.
to read all of y'all's reactions as you watch through Ballad of the Nightmare Crew.
I know for the first time.
Because it makes me like, oh yeah, I miss those characters. I love our Dark Age characters so much.
People that have similar
but,
color
yeah,
schemes cannot
just-
be next to each other.
Those characters were with us for so long.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How do we want to do this? People with similar color schemes cannot be together.
Whoa.
So we can't be together? Oh,
We have
no.
opposite.
I guess we're not
Your
blue.
character's in blue.
I was thinking my hair's blue,
Yes.
you're blue.
I'm
but-
looking at like the outfits.
I mean, none of the it's diverse as hell. Like color scheme wise.
I know. I'm just trying to space it and
It's
then,
like the
space
only,
the frames
like-
well.
Katari and Kano are the only two that are like
Black and red.
Yeah.
Everybody else is pretty like
Aelys
Different.
also has blue, but I just don't have the frame that fits that one.
There's a question in chat from Misery Mime.
Hi.
That is, this is kind of a self-indulgent question, but if your characters were alive in our world, what decade do you think they'd be born into?
Whoa. Huh.
Synnove would be born in probably the most modern decade because she's gay as fuck, and even with all that's happening, it's when she would have the most rights.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe this maybe last decade. I don't know. I'd have to think about that.
I've never thought about that once. That's crazy.
I feel like JB might do well in like the 70s or 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Like very chill.
Hanging out,
Um,
smoking your cigarettes.
Yeah.
In your
Getting
in the
Yeah, getting
you'd have
high.
the cigarettes in the rolled up in the t-shirt sleeve. You know what I'm talking about?
That's like greaser. That's like
That's like the 50s.
Yeah.
and
Is it
60s.
really?
Yeah.
I know nothing about time. I'm living my own Jeremy Bearimy loop.
wow.
Jeremy
You
Bearimy.
heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Synnove's Gen Z confirmed.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Yeah, if Synnove was Gen Z, Valor would be an elder millennial. Having to constantly look up things that
Bless
Bless
you.
So-
Synnove says, but wanting to be understanding.
So yeah,
So
I'm
me
adding
with my older siblings.
I'm adding more and more tanky tops.
Oh no.
And shirts. There's a few like different like cropped style shirts that are pretty cool. So if there's any no reason at
Or on
all
tape.
Yeah.
would
That was
JB
so
make.
fast.
I mean JB. I mean obviously JB would understand Captain America's playstyle the most. The question was, what is JB's main in Marvel Rivals?
Uh-huh.
Baby's main.
JB's main, yeah. I mean, like he is essentially the Captain America, but I don't know. He probably would like a support character.
Mm. He's generous.
Yeah,
Damn it.
he's a giver.
I wish I liked playing those games so I could play with y'all, but I do not. I was down with it for Spellbreak, and then I was like,
Yeah.
nah.
Spellbreak was unique.
I even got Destiny at one point and like tried playing it, and I was like, okay, I can get into this. And Will was like, you'll live the lore, Hannah. And I just couldn't get into like the gameplay. And I was like, the lore's not enough to keep me here, Will.
Yeah,
I can't be
It-
detained.
it becomes so repetitive. Like it's. Yeah, I would use Destiny a lot for like listening to an audiobook and like barely paying attention to playing Destiny. Like
It's just something to do.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I just go dick down a fort and I listen to my podcast, and it's great.
Amazing.
Oh god.
But that's not a like co-op game because I wish I could play co-op games. But
We've been playing Split Fiction.
Split Fiction's fun.
It's
It's very,
awesome.
very good.
We've not finished it.
I did buy Only Cooks because it was on sale for $7.
I love how you call it Only Cook.
Yeah. Oh no, dude. What's going on?
See, Kyle, sometimes the things I say catch on.
Oh, we're good.
When was the first time I said that?
I don't know.
It's been years.
It was, yeah. For those of you who don't understand
Are new
what
here?
we mean,
Can we put mine under yours?
Rachel calls the game Overcooked. Only Cooks.
It was an accident once.
Like Only.
Yes. And
So we're out of tape, so I can't do it.
it's also funny
That's so
because
hard. Oh, you did such a good job.
it is a game that Rachel really loves.
Yep.
It is a game that I get so much anxiety
Stresses
from.
you out.
It brings me a certain amount of joy. Like, it's not fun. It is an objectively fun, good, well-made game.
When we were all playing and Woody just decided to start throwing lettuce at everybody, funny.
Amazing.
Fun.
Oh yeah, if it becomes you're not trying to do well at it, great time. It's very silly. The graphics are really cute, and like the music is amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
I just always called it Only Cooks.
but it also is so stress-inducing, and because we were also trying to get 4 stars on every level.
As is our right.
Damn.
They
And
only
our duty.
And it was just
It's
the
like-
2 of you?
Yeah.
That's hard.
yes, it is.
That's
yeah,
hard.
We have not finished it.
And so
I'll come play with you.
Thank you.
please,
I'll be the 3rd chef.
yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
So, yeah. So, that's what Only Cooks is.
Only Cooks.
Add it to the secret phrases that we have.
The next highlighted question is for me, but I would love to know what you two think.
What?
If you could you give more on, it's from Niviana, could you give more insight into how Synnove is feeling now that she is severed from Stella? How do you think the ramifications will manifest? Which is what I want to know what you guys think.
Niviana of the Girl Scout cookies?
Niviana of the Girl Scout cookies.
Oh my goodness, I will answer this.
I think I've talked about that Synnove, that I am sad, and Synnove is very sad
Yeah.
about it. And I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, oh, this is gonna last a while. Synnove is upset about this, but it's complicated because anytime since Stella left her, when she really needs help, it's not Stella who comes calling. Yeah, complicated, messy, but she still loves Stella a lot,
Yeah.
and we'll see how that love gets her hurt in the future.
Do you think she'll still love her if she finds out that, like, she would lose herself? Like, the plan was for her to lose herself to become Stella?
She would still love her.
Wow.
I think that the way that things have kind of like shaped out is really for the best. There's no other way, because she would take her back. Synnove would take her back in a heartbeat.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That could still happen.
I don't want
And
to.
Will and I have talked about, like,
second.
Will and I have talked about, like, Synnove could get lost. Like, I'll have to play another character. That is still on the table.
Sad.
Not like forever lost.
But
They're just for like a
temporarily.
little bit. Yeah. It's similar to like Aelys and like there were conversations early on after Aelys made her dumbass decision of like
Which one?
the one where
I know you're here, John.
we all opened the group chat and we were like, we gotta figure this out. I remember John saying that like he had he had a backup character. He was ready for like Aelys to be not like he was ready, but he was prepared if it happened.
Yeah.
What to do?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. You gotta be prepared. I already know who my backup character is if Valor dies.
I'm
But
hoping
yeah,
JB,
I don't know. I
Synnove
don't know.
won't let it happen.
I'm hoping JB makes it to the end of the campaign without ever dying.
That would be so funny.
That's not possible.
That would be so
In
funny.
Regulus?
So far, he's good.
Yeah, you and Katari are good to go.
Katari would definitely go first. She'll do something.
She's a lot less
She
hit points.
doesn't have hit points. Yeah, she's lucky she hasn't died yet.
She acts like a full barbarian when she is like mostly a cleric,
Yeah. Yeah.
and does not heal anyone.
She only has one healing spell, and it's one
And
that
it's
is
only
detrimental
for
to her.
Synnove.
Should objectively be a paladin, but
We can only have one paladin. It's me.
And it's you.
It's gonna be me.
I see. Where do I get my pens from? I got this pen from Staples. Yeah. I got both of them from
Exclusive
Staples.
Staples?
Yeah. I think this is actually candy in here, but I'm
Do
afraid
not
I
eat it.
can't.
No.
get it. But I think somebody else should try.
No.
Actually, it might just be little balls.
yeah,
When did
I
you
think
buy
those are
that
just little
pen?
balls.
No, I don't know. I've always thought they were candy.
Can you take them out without breaking it?
No.
Okay.
So
well,
it's
then
probably not candy. This whole time I thought it was candy.
You've just been like glancing at it.
Yes.
fondly thinking like maybe it doesn't have gluten.
Maybe it won't kill me.
It would kill you,
Plastic.
just
You're
not
a
because it had
doctor.
gluten.
I think it's just plastic.
I'll never look that closely.
I'm glad that you did not eat that and die.
Oh my
Ooh, yeah. Oopsie. Ooh, what was the ceremony Valor and Synnove talked about last stream from Dory May?
Did we say the name or did we just say ceremony? Do you remember?
There's several ceremonies, so I'm trying to think of what ceremony we were talking
Ceremony.
about.
We were talking
last
about the one
stream.
that Knaz was at.
Oh.
And Vikestar and Synnove.
I don't think we said the name. We definitely didn't say the name. It was mostly above table that we were talking about the details of it.
Because
Anyway.
you were like, do you remember Knaz? And Will was like, oh, you don't remember? And I was like, ooh, not a sibling. And he was like, still see it in this way. And I was like, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because it's the like light around Synnove and Vikestar for Valor, and then everything else gets hazy the farther away it is. But people from that ceremony are remembered a bit better than others.
For reasons. There are a lot of ceremonies
Yeah.
in Synnove and Valor's community. This is the ceremony that is traumatic. I don't know.
Well, this was a public ceremony.
It was a public ceremony. There are private
Yes.
and public ceremonies.
Private one, I feel like. No, both equally traumatic. Both equally traumatic.
Yeah. We can't tell you that yet because it will
I
come. It
know.
will come out, and we don't want to give it away too soon. But it was cool to when you dropped a little bit more of that what you said about what they did. It was
They
just
did
for
this.
like a slight second. You said it. I was
It
like,
was emotion.
oh,
That's
damn,
why you gotta watch on
pulled
YouTube.
that trigger.
That's why you have to watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
mean,
it was
you can
something
wa-
that was mentioned in
If
21.
you watch it on Spotify, you can watch it
There
as
was
video.
It was something that was mentioned in 21 from Lenore to Aelys. This is what my people did to me.
Yeah.
But it's always just like the tiniest little
Yeah.
things about it. I wasn't expecting you to bring up Knaz. It was great.
Yeah. Which has been like established for before Katari's fixation.
Yeah.
We had decided that Synnove. This is okay to talk about because it was talking about Synnove had an infatuation with somebody, and that's the only like romantic connection she's ever had that she thought was romantic.
And it was something that like we had talked about with at the time Lenore being in what she perceived as a very healthy relationship. That's something that like that older sibling, that third parent is explaining of like you're growing up, like you're learning what love is, and infatuation and obsession and this idealized version of a person isn't love. And so that was very cool, like even in character as Valor, as that like older protective sibling, to hear the younger sibling be like, I'm recognizing that this is a problem, was like, I was so surprised. Rachel was so surprised, and it was such a wonderful moment, and I think a realization for Synnove, because a lot of Valor's concern with like watching the past couple days in game unfold was like, does Synnove realize this isn't healthy, or does she think everything's cool because she couldn't tell?
No.
Yeah.
For months now, I've known that Synnove knew that Katari saw her as something that wasn't the reality, which harkened back to Synnove's past romantic stuff. But I know that Synnove she does not want, however it turns out, she does not want the relationship with Katari, whether it be platonic or romantic, to end the way that things shook out between Knaz and Synnove. It couldn't shake out the same way, but
Not
it could
possible.
shake out in
Yeah.
a bad way still, and Synnove does not want that.
Yeah.
Which is why there's like a little more like messiness in terms of handling it, where Synnove like does kind of welcome certain things and then like put up kind of like a nope, this is where we stop, this is the boundary.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah. A complicated queer Are they friends? Are they gonna be more than friends if they're enemies? They definitely hate each other's cultures. Like,
And you're always gonna continue to hate a culture if you don't learn more about it.
yep.
If you're ignorant to
It is interesting. It's a fun thing I didn't expect to have to navigate for Synnove.
No, I wasn't expecting it either.
Yeah.
If I had my way and Valor had her way, Synnove would never date.
Never be happy.
Hera
She'd
plays.
be happy all on her own.
Yeah, you should be happy on your own.
Yeah.
Anyone you choose to bring into your life should just like enhance it.
And
But
she
your life
needs
is great
time to
already.
be on her own. She's always had Stella. She's always had something there immediately to talk to reassure her, to like have that like feedback loop, that echo chamber, and she needs to have space. Except for when Valor has to sit right next to her. But Valor doesn't have to sit right next to her all the time anymore. So
Nah, 'cause she got blood. She got that. I'm not gonna say what I said earlier about what I
please
think about
don't.
blood.
Please don't. This is live on television.
I told you what I think that blood is.
Yes.
Yes.
What was JB's from Hera Plays? What was JB's inner world doing in the utterly incredible clapback against Mother Haran?
That was so
It
good.
was just quick.
It was so fast.
Clap back at it was because she was like, you've lost
You
my
lost my
daughter.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was definitely a moment that I don't know if JB would want to take back, but would definitely like, in a moment of reflection, be like, I spoke in anger.
Yeah,
But it was great.
it was honest.
I mean, yeah, like fuck that, like
I
no.
loved it.
Different
It was fabulous.
different situation,
Okay, I'm scrolling.
and like and we as little as we know about Aelys's family, and we do know a lot because a lot has come up.
Yeah.
But as little as we know about it, I think JB is still definitely like y'all definitely traumatized this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't gonna go out of his way to criticize, but like if they're gonna if one of the biggest what?
It's definitely not.
Yeah.
What?
It's just bothering me.
Level?
No, it's because our floors aren't level.
I know, because the floors aren't. I'm just.
There's been many a day where we've shoved something under that tripod.
I know, it just makes me. I don't want chat to think I'm really bad at hanging stuff up. Though the Synnove stuff is crooked and I need tape to hold the frame in place.
There's not a straight line in this building.
I know. No, I'm making it worse. Sorry for moving the camera, guys.
This is the gayest building in New York.
Yeah.
Please continue, my love.
I forgot.
I'm so sorry. I was just having a meltdown for a moment.
Having a meltdown.
Yeah, I was just having a really cute meltdown.
Ooh, this is good because you can answer this.
Hmm.
From Hera Plays, for no reason, a wedding tradition you could see being something your characters would do.
I haven't been married. What would you ask?
Especially for our cult sisters.
Fuck
Your character's not been married.
Lenore's wedding was canceled. She was engaged.
Did you not know that? Oh, okay.
I remember
I
when
don't
you
know how much
found
she's
out
told
that
you.
Lenore had been engaged, though, and you
I didn't know
didn't
if
know
they
at
knew
first.
that.
They know that she was engaged.
I can't
Did
keep
you?
track of these things.
It has been almost a year.
I'm just a girl.
You're just a girl, my love. I also think it is hard because like we talk about the show all the time. We meet and have our cult coffees. Kyle and I like talk about it as we're getting ready for bed. We talk about it all the time. So then there are moments where I go to say something and I'm like, did Kyle tell me that at dinner, or has JB said that on stream?
So often with everyone.
Yeah,
With everyone
yeah,
at the
with
table, I'm
everyone.
like, did we talk about that on the stream, or
Mhm.
did somebody text that to me?
Exactly. So, yes, we were engaged. Lenore and Anara were engaged, and I believe during an RP warm-up question, I talked about the matching rings that people from where Synnove and Valor are from would wear on their horns. Since they didn't wear a lot of jewelry, that's kind of a thing.
No, because too much. What is it? Where's my notebook? I have a quote from
You
it.
have it
but
written
I've never-
down.
We have like there's a bunch of sayings our cult has says.
Oh yes, some of them people picked up on and asked about.
Yeah, this is one I've never said, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Those who seek riches above find no need for golden trinkets below. You've definitely heard the like strangers are just friends you haven't met yet. Aren't you a ship with no sails?
Aren't you sure with no sales is great?
Mm-hmm. Chosen threads in a cosmic tapestry, divine tapestry.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's that has been revealed. We talked about the engagement, talked about the rings like on the horns as like the ornamentation that people were able to wear to show that they were betrothed. But I think timeline wise, the wedding probably should have happened. Like considering when in my mind they got engaged and how simplistic weddings are in their culture, I will say like very similar to that quote you just said. It's not like the big like crazy huge wedding, like everyone's there but it's not extravagant. It doesn't take like a ton of planning, prep, decoration, other than like live flowers and plants. Honestly, it's not like a big to do. So I feel like the wedding could have happened probably if like ceremony hadn't happened, probably day 89 of 126.
Somebody asked about that.
Yeah.
Day 89 of 126. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean? We will find
You'll
out.
find out.
What does it mean?
We've definitely talked about like these things before, but
Yeah.
never in that context. So I think the dots just like aren't connected, and I'm very excited for the day all the dots are connected.
Yeah, it'll be very satisfying when all is revealed, and then you can go back and you can be like, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, that has more context now.
Yeah.
Aren't you a ship with no sails? I've been trying to figure out ways to say that more.
Yeah. It's so hard
yeah.
to work it in.
Because it's so fun.
Aren't you?
And that means a lot. That means a lot.
It means a lot.
This is the special lore you get for joining us for this special Bards and Crafts.
It means way more than just like a really cute saying.
A really cute saying.
It's really cute. I remember when we came up with it, and I was like, are we cracked or are we genius?
Ooh.
Can't we be both?
From Geeky Choreo 24, I'm working through verse 2 of Ballad of the Nightmare Crew, and I want to know how long it took people to catch the Ryujin Rittenhask moments.
Such a good question.
I shipped them from the moment Rittenhask asked Ryujin to be his traveling buddy.
It
I
took
was
a
like,
while,
that was like episode like 27 or something.
You're really good
It
at
took a
this.
while for people to catch on, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in verse 2 we like canonically were like, oh, they're dating, right? And Woody was like, romance Drew? Yes.
Say less.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
It did start as a bit, but then Woody and Drew both leaned into it. It became canon.
So wonderfully wholesome and
I
great.
think a lot of the Woody romances start as a bit. That's how our romance started in our home game.
Yeah, that's very true. Speaking of breakups, the breakup, I won't give it away for those who aren't caught up, that happened in 37. That was the second breakup I've ever witnessed playing a D game. The first being Rachel and Woody's characters. And how
Winona
deliciously
and
awkward it
Bathriel.
was.
That was
We talked
so
about it on
fucking
Bards
fun.
Radio this week, actually. That was diabolical of Woody.
It was so funny. It
Yeah.
was so funny. And weren't you, like, your character, Alec, was, like, cronking outside the window because we thought
You were
Bathriel was
eavesdropping.
being sussy, and so
Oh
you were,
my
like,
god, I
outside the
remember
window,
that.
up against the wall, like, oh.
And then I listened to that.
Witnessing the breakup.
Wow. Fun times.
That was so much fun.
Rittenhask, the OG Chat's husband.
Yeah.
Husband.
May there always be more.
Yeah. Chouse.
Chouse.
There always be chouse.
I prefer chouse. I don't like chife. It sounds derogatory. I don't know why.
Like something you yell at
I
somebody on the
just
street.
dislike it. Like,
Oh no.
like if you add the words like you and then like curse, chife.
Yeah.
That's a hate crime.
It does. Yeah, it does sound bad. Ooh. Okay.
Chusband just sounds strange.
Selfishly,
Chouses.
This
because
is for you.
I have a degree in basically Shakespeare. Niviana asks, what Shakespearean character, I believe, do you think your character is most like?
I would have to read more Shakespeare.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've probably only read like 5 or 6 plays.
Lenore does, just because Lenore and Valor are both very, like, intelligent, like, in terms of, like, wit. You know? They're very witty.
Mm-hmm.
I would, like, I get Rosalind vibes, but that might also be because I am biased with Rosalind from As You Like It, because Rosalind is considered one of the most intelligent Shakespeare characters out there. And they're just, like, a really strong, like, cool character who, like, goes out and gets what they want.
Yeah.
And is unafraid, which I feel like Valor and Lenore both had.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, I could see some, like, Beatrice. Particularly the monologue of If I Were a Man from Valor and Lenore. Of, like, that righteous anger for somebody else who they love and who they protect, which is Hero in Much Ado About Nothing. I could see that.
I really appreciate this. Thank
Yeah.
you.
For JB, unless you have an answer.
How's a musical boy?
I'm trying to think of... JB could slot
Even
into
then.
a lot of things. It'd be fun to see if, like, JB fit into, like a history. My brain is literally going through all the Shakespeare plays.
You have them all on lock.
Oh, you know who JB could be is Henry IV. But particularly Bolingbroke in Richard II. Because I think Bolingbroke is wronged and, like, exiled and comes back and believes that the king who is leading Richard II is not, like, fit to rule, essentially, and that Bolingbroke is owed stuff, and he ends up, like, not through, like, no fault of his own, like, creating this, like, rebellion and this uprising where Richard II eventually gets killed. And not the ending of the play is definitely not JB, but I think the beginning of the play where Bolingbroke has, like, kind of like he is angry about things, but there's also a gentleness to Bolingbroke's text, and like a sadness that I think JB could encompass really well.
Okay.
That's what I would say. For like comedies or tragedies, I don't know. JB's so gentle. That's the thing. Like, he's also angry, but he's so gentle.
Well,
I have to think on this a little bit more, but I like the thought experiment.
That is fun.
And this is me, like, delaying Synnove because
I was gonna say where you were at.
Are you delaying because you don't know or because you do know?
Well, I think a lot. If y'all have been on Bards Radio for, like, the first time I was on Bards Radio, I said that, like, I think a lot in terms of weight and tempo with characters because everybody has their own internal tempo, and as an actor, the job is always to, like, not bring the character to yourself, but go to the character, and that, for me particular, means weight and tempo, because I have such a strong one where I am very, like, glidey, I'm very heavy with things and, like, settled, which is why I like Synnove, because Synnove is it talks all the time, is very light and dabby and flicky and floaty, and then like sometimes we'll go down into, like, a glide or a press. And with Shakespeare, especially the femme characters in Shakespeare are all strong. There's not a single weak femme character in Shakespeare, which, whether or not you believe Shakespeare was a feminist, that is, like, true. Unless somebody wants to disagree with me, because I'm not, like, the expert be-all end-all
No, this
of
is a TED
Shakespeare.
Talk.
I just have a master's degree in classical acting from a very prestigious school. And I'm a hoe for Shakespeare. I think Synnove, weight-wise, is more of a Desdemona
From?
a Desdemona from Othello.
Mm-hmm.
Or even an Ophelia from Hamlet.
Okay.
But that like weight, like untethered aspect of Synnove where you think like she might be a little crazy. But
Might?
A little?
I think that is there. But in terms of grit, which I think Synnove has a lot of, Emilia from Othello, I think she has a lot of similarities with Emilia. Emilia is one of my favorite femme Shakespeare characters because she's just so fucking cool. And she doesn't have a lot of lines, but she's a really cool character. She's really badass and she's a feminist. And she has this great scene about just like men don't get it. And so maybe that's my biases, but that like grit that Emilia has throughout, I think is really there. I think maybe there's a little bit of Hero or a little bit of Beatrice in there from... My brain also thought Iago. I think Synnove's just like... There's a lot. I need to think more about this, but I really like this thought experiment. Thanks for asking that question, because that's cool.
I love those.
Yeah.
As
that
a
was both
classically...
cute and adorable.
I learned so much. As a classically trained actor, what is your favorite Shakespeare tragedy and comedy?
Tragedy? You asked me this a couple weeks ago, I think.
I think I did, yeah.
I think Richard II is a near perfect play. It is entirely written in verse, and it is beautiful. I think it's entirely written in verse. There might be a couple lines that aren't. It's just sometimes there's a lot of like verbiage that doesn't resonate with people in the modern era, and so it just needs to kind of be updated. But when done well, it fucking slaps. And you see your current situation politically, like in Richard II, no matter what. You either are like, I relate to Richard II, or I relate to Bolingbroke. And it just depends on what the world is doing at any given moment. It's wild. And some of the most beautiful speeches. And then the whole scene with Richard tweaking on the beach is just so great. But my favorite, I think, that's my favorite history play. My favorite character is Queen Margaret, because she's the only Shakespeare character to ever be in 4 Shakespeare plays, and she's badass. You meet her when she's a teenager, and then you're with her until she's like an old crone, and she's cursing people. And she's problematic and not always a good person, but her monologues are really cool. Her scenes are really cool. She's just really strong and really cool.
Very dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a scene from, I believe it's Henry VI Part 2. I might be wrong. It might be Part 1 between Queen Margaret and the Duke of York, where she has this great monologue where she basically says like, you ain't shit, I killed your son, here's this tissue soaked in his blood, like, take it. And then he has this like retort where he's like, she-wolf of France, and he has this like great monologue right after hers. It's incredible. It's an incredible scene. You should watch it.
Okay.
That's why I said earlier, like, love affair with words. Like, reading good Shakespeare, watching good Shakespeare makes you have that love affair with words. But to answer your question...
Do you like words?
I love words. I'm a slut for a good word.
To answer my question. No, that was great.
Answer your question. So Richard II, Julius Caesar. It's just such a fun play. Everyone loves Julius Caesar, and you can do it so many different ways. Oh, I saw it once with what's his face? He played Q in the James Bond movies. Anyway,
I've seen a James Bond movie.
but they did it modern style, and
The new James Bond movie?
they had. The stage was hydraulic, so it would come out like you came in and you could either sit in the seats or you could stand in the floor, kind of like groundlings at the Globe, where you stand the whole time. And the stage was hydraulic, so it would rise out of the floor. So it looked like a completely flat floor, and then the stage would come up in different ways.
That's very cool.
And all of the extra characters played those like little characters here and there, like if you were like Casca or Casca, you would like also be kind of crowd control, and you would like tell the audience whilst in character, while things are happening, where to stand so that the stages could rise. And then they had like guns instead of knives, and it was crazy because when they assassinated Julius Caesar, the text has never made more sense because they shot that gun and we were all standing there as the crowd and we all ran because it was scary.
Yeah.
And then the lines right after, I was like, oh my god. We, like, the crowd that just ran away informs that in a way that I've never seen done before. It's really cool. Yeah, so Julius Caesar is one of my faves.
Yeah.
I love As You Like It. I think it's great.
That's one of the, like, few that I've read, is As You Like It and Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah, Much Ado is fun, too. That one's an easy one to follow, too. Very accessible.
It's one of the first ones that I've seen. I was in high school and I saw a college production of Much Ado About Nothing, and it was, like, the first time I'd seen it. A Shakespeare show, actually. I loved it.
Wow.
Because they did it, like, classic, everyone does it, but they did it like 1920s style, and it was the incredible bob wigs, and and just like the outfits and stuff, and I was just able to like, it was the first time Shakespeare was accessible to me as a person who had a hard time reading it in school. And just like hearing it done in a way where they were training to be classical actors, I was like, I actually get it now. I get the story.
Yeah, that's the thing, is you have to see Shakespeare done well. Because when it's done poorly, you're like, I hate Shakespeare.
It's awful, yeah.
Yes, I thought I hated Shakespeare until somebody sat me down and said, I think you'd really like this, and let me explain to you. But when you see it done well, you're like, oh, I get it. And I get why it's still done. But that's the problem, is not everybody does it well.
Should your side job
Starts to
to
feel
Bards be teaching Shakespeare? Because I think the chat would be interested. That could be on the podcast.
It could be on the podcast.
Bards about the bard.
Rachel.
Was that what you were gonna say?
It was Bards on the Bard.
Bards on the Bard.
But we were in the same place.
Yeah. And I'm not like an... There are people who are way more knowledgeable than me. Folger Shakespeare podcast is a great podcast to listen to if you like Shakespeare. But yeah. Oh, also, shout out to 12th Night, because it's gay as fuck, and when done well, it's really fun. Least favorite Shakespeare play?
What?
The Tempest. I think it sucks ass.
You know what?
The fifth act was written 5 minutes before they opened the play, originally.
That was one of the first Shakespeare plays that I'd read, and I was like, it's not for me. So that makes sense.
I think it's a designer's dream. I think if you are a designer or like a tech person, it is so fun. It's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah.
But there's like also other great classical writers. Lope de Vega is one of my favorite classical playwrights. He's a Spanish Golden Age playwright. He wrote like, I think it's like 1,500 plays or some shit.
That's wild.
Yeah, there's a lot, and not all of them have been found or translated.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But yeah, this is super cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And they're horny. And they're like all about like revenge and honor, and like it's not as like buttoned up, and because it was Spain and they were like, let's go hard. Yeah, it's like
Spain goes hard.
You know, like telenovelas, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
This is España.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was absolutely amazing, and I'm so glad I asked.
Thanks for asking. I'm sorry you went on a tangent.
No, we enjoyed it, and we would like more of it in the future. Thank you for answering so
Another.
thoroughly. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we answer more questions?
Yes. I know there was a bunch earlier that were highlighted, but we were doing frame stuff, and I had a mini meltdown about the leveling.
If you each took the reins of an NPC, major or minor, who would you want to play as a PC? You can't answer your first choice.
No, I can't, because that's
No.
my backup character. So I'll hold on to that. What?
You've not told me that.
I like to surprise you.
Huh.
I swear I've mentioned it. I've
An
said it.
NPC.
I said it in this room today.
You did. You did.
I said it in
Was
this
I
room
here?
today.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I
remember
think
if you were
so.
in the kitchen.
I don't know. I just think you're always here.
Were you in the kitchen? Oh yeah, there was a question from chat on if you guys were siblings.
Wow, we're not. We're friends.
We do play siblings in one.
You have similar hair.
We were making jokes that like we've played siblings and we've romanced each other, and now we've played siblings and now I have to romance Rachel for it to be like even.
Next campaign.
Yeah.
Next campaign.
Or if she comes back as her backup character.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So definitely a femme character.
Oh, because Synnove's gay as fuck.
Yes.
I
Canon.
said it. I literally said it today, so I'm trying to remember if you were in the kitchen or something. We can talk about it later. I don't want people to know.
It's not very likely that it's gonna happen.
I don't want to be Voltaire. I want to be a slimy, dangerous, like, icky character.
I want to be Daisy May.
Are you calling her slimy, icky, and dangerous?
No, this is for me, not for you.
She's so cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna be Daisy May. I would love to be a light hunter.
Ooh,
I think
that
it'd
would
be fun to be a light hunter.
Hmm.
I really like Throws. Maybe it's because he just like constantly negs Thegus in like a
Yeah.
really fun way.
Also, it'd be
I'm
really.
into the negging.
That is
We
know.
know.
That.
We know. It would
I
also
love a
be
good neg.
really fun for anyone to be Voltaire because then Kyle would have to deal with it.
No.
I have said that next campaign I want some of the stuff we do to be adversarial, and Kyle looked so scared.
I'm
For
excited
you.
that. For you. Ooh. The drama. Speaking of telenovela.
What's your NPC
Yeah, what's yours?
you'd want to be?
It's hard because like thinking about it as like who would actually fit well with the group.
Don't worry about us.
Just what's fun for you?
Who's
Say Hareem.
Dream can die in a hole. Yeah, Voltaire is better than Hareem.
You heard it here, folks.
Oh yeah. Come on.
I need your ranking of like NPCs and like who's on top, who's on bottom, much like Apollo ranks the bards.
Who's on top, who's on bottom? Yeah.
So what's the answer?
Who saved us from the place that we got attacked from?
Yes. Lua or Sherry, you know, who saved us, who was
She-
missing,
She had
presumed
like
dead.
she had like magic wind power. That's how
Yeah.
she fucking avatared us back to the
Verena, thank you, Storm. Verena.
Ooh.
Verena. Yeah. Verena.
Um,
And I don't have an answer why, because I don't really remember the entirety of her character.
But fucking cool monk. And
I
you're like,
loved. Oh yeah, love me a monk. Love me the vibe.
Yeah,
And I think it would be fun.
that's a really good
Oh,
question.
I also just miss.
Alec.
I miss Ignis.
Ignis. Oh, I do.
Ignis was
Cool.
partial monk. In like the. Oh, so cool.
There are so many songs on Tara's playlist that I have put there because I'm like, in my brain, this is what it looks like when Ignis and Tara and Angela are like at their best in a fight. And like this like Thunderstruck starts playing.
Yeah.
Good
They would.
playlists.
Oh. Yeah. They were a fucking. Except when
Angelo.
Angelo would fucking
Do friendly fire.
friendly fire every time.
Oh, that was funny.
It's friendly, so it doesn't hurt you, right? Right?
No, it hurt us. It definitely
Yeah.
hurt us.
Yeah.
And it was like accidental, and then it became a bit. It just became something that kept happening.
Yeah. He just had so many spells that were just like fucking big
AoE.
ass spells and AoE, and one of us was always in the thick of it.
Yeah,
Thank you, Vesper.
Ignis was always in their fucking mouth.
it was so
Oh.
cool. So many people say it's like Ignis was just min-maxed to the gods.
I
Which
loved
is
her
so fun.
much.
Mm-hmm.
I love when characters are bad at things,
Mm-hmm.
as is quite evident.
Yeah.
And I loved the visual of like, because the the Horizon Walker Ranger subclass is so cool. Definitely check that out. It takes a while. Like, it takes a while for it to really like pay dividends, I would say, because being like, or maybe now in their 5.5e, I think they buffed the Ranger a little bit.
Much deserved.
But yeah, check it out. But I fucking love the like before every attack roll, like before every attack. I think it's like they teleport to a space they can see within like just like another space within 5 feet, or a space within 5 feet of the target, and that's just anime as hell. And I just loved even if it didn't even get, I don't even think it gave me advantage. Like, it was just for the vibe, and it was awesome.
I just remember that one
Worth
fight where we were stuck. We got caught by a lot of people, and we had to get the fuck out. And you did this thing where you like touch someone's shoulder, and then that was able to like teleport you out. And I remember not knowing that was a thing, and when it happened, I was like, "That's fucking cool."
That was
because you were like, "Go,"
Yeah.
and we were like, "No."
I was like, I can get out. You guys gotta go. Yeah. That was a. Drew ended up using stuff like that in as Ryujin. It's basically like Naruto stuff that was like makeshifted.
Yeah.
It was flying Raijin for those at home.
Yeah.
For the initiated.
Drew is always trying to be an anime character all the time,
Rightfully
in real
so.
life and in D&D.
We've seen the art.
Yep.
We've seen the character, Sons of the Other Nine.
Yeah.
Watch it.
We've met Drew.
We have met Drew.
This music is so crazy.
I'm trying to find a vibe that's not too distracting
Ominous?
for my brain.
The vibe is ominous.
what was
that song called?
Uh,
Do you know? Did it go away?
I mean,
Somebody asked.
Will renamed it as chess, but I know that's not what it's actually called in fantasy
Yeah.
class.
Chess.
We have our own names. This is gonna bother me if these aren't.
Question from Vote for Leslie Nope. Have y'all been recognized from Bards IRL? And Kyle, how's the progress on your book?
I've not been recognized.
Will got recognized yesterday. I've been recognized, which is always disconcerting because I wear a wig, and so I think people won't be able to recognize me.
I've only been recognized once, but I was with you and Will.
And you were at
That was
20
a couple weeks ago.
and you were at
Yes.
20-sided tavern.
We were at 20-sided tavern.
There was a lot of
So that
context
made
surrounding
sense.
it.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
the
there
only
was.
time that's happened to me so far. Though I do wear my Bard's hat all the time. Oh, Apollo had seen me prior, but I didn't know.
I'm fearful of the day one of my coworkers says I saw you on TikTok.
You're like, but I wear
I mean,
a
it's
wig.
getting more and more inevitable.
Like Synnove.
How's your
Inevitable.
book? Do you want to?
It's good. It is.
That's the wrong guy.
Just the other day, I kind of like. So essentially, I had gotten to a point a month or so, or maybe more.
A month and a half.
A month and a half ago, I was like almost done, and I was like, "Fuck yes, about to be done. Let's do this. Gonna move into editing." And literally on the day that I would have finished that, I had an idea that of like adding like basically an entire like day into like the front half of it, and I was like, that is such a good idea, and it would offer so many, like it would add so much and offer a lot of like enriching moments for characters, and like I was just like, oh, I need to do this, but then I was like,
Damn it.
I was so
I
close, and I was
know.
like, fuck. So it was the necessary piece that I have completed, and now I'm working to like thread that into the rest of the story for like continuity, continue editing, and it's almost done.
I can't wait to read it.
It's very challenging.
Did you see? You might not have seen it. I think it was recent in our like hobbies and interests forum. Someone made like a post where people are like, it's for not fanfic writing. It's for people who are just writing to like encourage each other, share ideas, or be like, I'm gonna sit down and write and like not look at my phone. It was really cool. And I was thinking about you.
I love all the prompts people put in the fanfic sections.
The prompts are amazing.
Yeah, they're really cool to see. It gets my creative juices flowing. I'm like, oh, if I had more time and wasn't a freak, I would write fan fiction about all y'all's characters.
I wasn't a freak.
I am a freak and I have no time.
I also just want to publicly say I've not read this new chapter.
Grounds for divorce.
Like, this is very serious, and we brought you here to talk about this today.
While you're in the hot seat, question from Half Pint Hero.
This
For
is
JB.
fun.
As an only sibling, what is it like seeing all of the family sibling dynamics, especially so many messy ones?
It's definitely hard for him to understand, and I think that like there was a moment of that when they were in the Fated Realm, and Valor and Synnove were having such a hard time,
Yeah.
and like very like because we were in a tiny room, very like openly doing so. So JB was like present for it, and yeah, it's difficult. Speaking as an only child, it's not difficult for me because I am an empathetic person. But I think that part of the difficulty comes from like if you look at just like your family members, you have like a certain like different like not even respect, but just like a different kind of relationship. So that let me back up.
Yeah.
The uniqueness of a sibling relationship is very unique. And I think that it's hard for somebody who doesn't have that to be able to like contextualize it. Like, because like at first you just kind of put it over and it's like when you hear like about siblings like arguing all the time and like growing up I would just like see different situations. I'm like, oh geez, like doesn't sound fun. But like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I could see, obviously, like, I was very focused on looking at Hannah in that scene, but I'm like, I could see your discomfort as JB of, like, and I think I noticed it in that scene, and I've noticed it in other scenes where someone is being misunderstood, or if JB feels that, like, they're not getting, like, they're getting the short end of the stick in that conversation, and be like, well, I don't think that's what so-and-so meant. And especially when it's between Valor and Synnove misunderstandings, it definitely seems to be like, I don't understand where this hostility is coming from. Because if you don't have that sibling relationship, you don't understand that it can go away in a minute.
Yeah, that's the yeah, that it's like, it is unlike any relationship you will ever have. And even like sibling to sibling, like your relationship with your sibling in real life is so different than my relationships with my siblings in real life. And it's like so unique. There have been times when people will try to get in between Valor and Synnove having conversations, and I like legitimately have to sit on an impulse to be like, don't fucking talk to me. I'm talking to my sister. You don't get it.
Honestly,
which I have done in real life with my real life siblings and like other people trying to interject, and it's like, no. This is between us. You stay out of it.
Do it. That's hilarious. I feel like you might have done that to JB at one point.
Maybe.
But not like to that extent.
But it's like such a real feeling when you're like, you don't understand the history behind this and how it can like flare up and then go away in a second.
And it's still like, if for me, like if Valor and Synnove were fighting, but then someone started picking on Synnove, it's an instant, well, we're done fighting because I hate this person now.
Yeah, nobody can fuck with you except for me.
Yes.
Yep.
I can tell you what to do, I can judge your life choices, but as soon as someone else does, it's like, well, she's beautiful and she's perfect, and why are you criticizing her?
Sibling relationships, man, complicated as hell and delicious.
And JB just wants everyone to get along.
We know.
Sweet JB.
He's like, no.
He's
I
confused.
love JB. JB is our king.
I love him so much. Before we answer another question, just because that was so wonderful, and I also want to point out you did not mention when I would be reading the new chapter.
Is that it? Was that what you wanted?
I was gonna get your guys' opinions on hanging frames.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted like a confirmation of like when I could read it.
Right now, you have to do so upstairs, and you get to leave the stream.
The stream is ending at 9. I can make it. I love you.
Love you.
So, for hanging the pastel frames over here, we have 3 art pieces that are vertical. We have Synnove, JD, and Aelys.
Okay.
I was trying to think of if I could make it work without moving what's already here. I think we might need to move what's already here. I was actually debating if the cross stitches should live on the door. But I was looking at maybe like doing one here, doing something over here. I don't know if all 4 of them will fit here and still be visible, unless we move some of these 12 things, but I don't want to move all the stuff.
We can move the fake plant if we want. Both of the fake plants. They don't need to be there.
They're fake?
They're fake. There's no sunlight in this room.
That's so fair. But yeah, that was a thought I had, was arranging these, and maybe we have to move this guy to not centered, and it's a little gallery wall. But we just might need to move some stuff to do the gallery wall.
I think that's a great idea. The only thing is getting nails into that thick ass door, but that's fine.
Can you
We
say
can
this
figure
from
that out
under
later.
I mean, I was just saying that because I wanted to go read.
Oh, okay.
I love you.
I didn't know. I thought you meant that. I just trust everything you say.
Thank you. You should have.
Even though you lied.
So how can we assist you, Rachel?
I guess it's just trying to decide, like, I mean, I did get something in the door for this guy. It's like, do we want to move these? And if so, do we want to try and do these around this guy? It is tough. One of them is
Landscape?
Yeah, landscape. And we might have to move Kareem down a little bit, but like we could at least do some of them around this.
I think the landscape won't look weird. I think it'll just like add visual interest.
And
Yeah.
maybe it's like over here because yeah.
Chat, what do you think? Ooh, I love that. I love that. Ooh, yes.
Yeah?
Ooh, yes. The purple with the green, yes, I love it.
Right?
It looks great.
So then the question is, do we remove the embroidery cross stitch? It's cross stitch, right? Both of them are cross stitch.
Cross stitch, yeah.
I know words. I do embroidery. I don't know how to cross stitch. But yeah, do we leave those and just do 2 art pieces and then figure out where the other ones go, or do we remove them and have all art?
I think Half Pint Hero says cross stitch, go on the door, and then that should be like above Mr. Goodberry.
Okay.
And then we can have the gallery moment here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I feel bad moving them because I also do love mixed media moments.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just wanted to make sure. I just think these ink drawings are just so lovely.
They're
I do want to
beautiful.
keep them all together.
Monsieur Goodberry.
Monsieur.
That's gonna be a little like super loud, so I might do that after stream.
Do you want me to stay here and watch or do you need my help hanging it? I can tell you how it looks on camera.
Yes, I need your eyes.
My ojos.
Yeah, I think we leave
Choose
Kareem where he is.
ojos.
Abre tus ojos.
You guys
Ombre.
Por favor.
Kyle, if you could sit though, so that where Hannah normally sits. If I didn't put a
Can I
line
sit?
there. No. Thank you. We just so Hannah can see. I think we leave Kareem where she is, so then this will probably go around here.
Where are my eyeballs?
Tus ojos.
Mis ojos. What if that is how I spoke Spanish? Let me see. Kyle, you're gonna have to duck. Duck for me, my love. Maybe go out just a little bit this way. I just want to see what it looks like. Just a little closer to the tip. Yes, right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful.
Thank you. I'm using one of your Synnove pencils.
Great.
I love these so much.
They're so cute.
I know.
We should do a puppet show. We
They're
should
adorable.
reenact the episodes with
with these.
as like recap videos.
Like the speed recaps of like.
yeah, like.
Cute.
JB. Synnove.
Thanks y'all for
That's
supporting
so
our
cute.
decisions. I really like doing stuff like this for the studio with chat here and with like all of our community because it is like our space and I like want it to be enjoyable for y'all to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Though most of the time we're all just looking at John crashing out.
Yeah.
And Kyle not staying in his chair.
Yeah.
That's one of your crimes on the wanted posters.
Let's see, more questions while Rachel hammers. I see Maggie Clark while we're on Shakespeare. Do you have a favorite sonnet? Do you have a favorite sonnet, Kyle? No?
I was never much of a Shakespeare fan.
Probably marked in my book of sonnets I have on our bookshelf, but do I know it off the dome? Absolutely not. And I think it's amazing that you would think so highly of us. Hannah might.
I do.
Have it off the
I mean, I
dome?
like them all, but there are two. One is because it was a sonnet I performed for my grandmother after she had had a stroke. And it was just like she always a lot of my cousins and the rest of my family are in the arts, the performing arts. My cousin's on tour right now in The Beautiful Noise, if you want to see that musical. And she loved watching us perform. And so like one of the last things I did for her was perform this sonnet. And it is sonnet 54 from it's the oh how much more doth beauteous seem, and it's just about like a flower can look beautiful, but it's because of how the flower smells, its truth, that makes it even more beautiful, like a rose. And then it likens to the person, and it's like you are beautiful, but it's also like what's inside. And at the end of the day, my verse will like distill that for you and make sure that people remember that you were beautiful. And then the other one I really like is Sonnet 54. No, Sonnet 27, which is
Which is it, Hannah?
weary with toil, I haste me to my bed, and it's just about like thinking about who you love. Like when you lie in bed and your thoughts go back to them.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
But they're all great.
Okay, I'm gonna do the ones on this side before I do. He gets over there.
Beep.
First, I think pink lower, orange higher. How high? How low?
Go lower than you think is necessary. I just want to see. Entertain me. Oh no, never mind. Don't entertain me. That looks bad.
Yeah, I was like, I trust you.
I think it should be offset from Thinker. That looks great. We can only see the bottom half of JB, but that's his best half.
That
So-
seems not appropriate, Hannah.
When was I ever supposed to be appropriate?
This is not Bards After Dark. This is Bards and Crafts.
But I think they look good, chat. What do you think?
I can't get out of the way. This is how we are.
No, I like colors like that.
Yeah,
It's also nice because the green on the Thinker one is quite dark, and that
that's what I was
the
thinking.
light colors are nice to see around it.
So I was thinking it kind of lightens up the space a bit. Thank you.
The Prime's ass, as Grumble Volcano says.
Oh my god.
This is an Evo question while Rachel hammers.
Yeah, and I haven't seen all of it.
What question?
For you and me, an Evo question. Is
Evo?
there a part of Ignis's and Tara's
Evolution.
stories?
Motherfucker, Evo means a lot of things!
In the context of our show?
It's the name of our soundboard.
It is!
Oh my god.
Is there a part of Ignis's and Tara's stories that you wish you could have told on stream or in the campaign?
It's been so long since that time. I don't remember what we did or did not completely. I think I would have loved to spend more time with those characters. I feel like there was a lot of rich history between them that. Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to have found out more about the cult that
Mhm.
Ignis was a part of and then left and was kind of like hunting her down.
Mm-hmm.
Classic.
And then the whole dynamic between Inez, Ignis, and Terra,
Mhm.
and like what went down there.
Very interesting.
I looked it up because I'd forgotten. Inez fucked off to Valyria. That was where she left too. Yeah,
Oh.
because we were all hanging in Baltos, playing Happy Family, and then after what went down, Inez went peace, fucked up to Valyria, and then we ended up in Calanthus.
What if someone in Valyria was related to her?
Absolutely was, and we just didn't know.
She was a human?
Yeah.
Human?
I think I'm gonna need to.
What if...
Will it look horrible if it's off like this, or does it need to be centered with Synnove?
It doesn't look horrible. It's
Does
fine.
it look odd?
It just
'Cause
looks
it-
like it's off-center, but it's fine.
I'm just afraid of
keep do it like that because the
because the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it could sit like this, but it is just like touching the mushrooms. I could also move Synnove over slightly.
We
Touching
have
the mushrooms
never
is-
pretended to be anything other than chaotic and a little messy, so I think it's perfect.
If it's touching the mushroom, or if I move it.
I like it touching the shroom.
Okay, I'll leave it.
Touch that shroom.
I'll leave it. It's just then it's.
And I'd love to know like what's behind Angela's connection to Navrik. And I know Drew wrote a beautiful piece on like the backstory of it, but would have loved to explore more of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Lots of cool stuff.
Let's see. I think we have time for a few more questions before we go
Oh,
and finish.
What?
Oh, that looks perfect.
Yeah.
That looks amazing.
okay. Thank you. You may continue.
I love it. So if you have questions, ask the good questions.
Do a really spicy one.
Yeah, ask the spicy in whatever way you think that is. We'll answer them if we can.
And then we'll delete this episode. I'm feeling chaotic. It's after 9.
It is.
That's when I.
This
make
is
all
this is
my-
what happens in Bards After Dark after 9.
That's so true, and it's also, I was gonna say on stream, it's when you definitely start to see a difference in Valor's risk level.
So accurate.
Right?
You're like a kid up past your bedtime. Can we read the Spotify comment?
Again?
Oh yes.
We didn't read it to the
I don't think we've read it out loud.
Mm,
We talked about it on Bards Radio.
If
Yeah.
you know if this is you,
we love you,
you don't have to shout yourself out.
but we love you.
Did I? Hello?
I just sent it to Woody, so would you like me to pull it up because I have it
Yeah.
primed?
Go for
Okay.
it. I don't know why.
Because we
I'm
told
not
Woody
getting
about it today.
It's one of those things where I feel really seen and understood as a creator of a character, but
it. Can you stop kicking shit?
sorry. I think I would say after 9 is when I start to look across the table at Kyle, and he starts to look really concerned for my character's life.
So this comment is from chapter 36. I will not out who commented on it, but if you're in chat, please let us know because it's an iconic comment that we've all been
Yeah.
talking about. And it says, in normal conversation, Valor has the vibes of an 8-year-old asking if you've ever seen a raccoon before telling you about her parents' divorce.
Because it doesn't matter to her to change emotional topics or states that quickly.
Have you seen a raccoon?
It's so funny.
And she would say it with a smile.
She would.
It is a. You were sniped.
You
Yeah.
really were sniped. You were seen.
It was so accurate. It was incredible.
How much does Valor remember of Inara? That's the spicy question.
Yeah?
Well, we have several. We can answer all the spicy questions that have come in.
Okay.
But that's the first one.
Valor remembers everything that Synnove and Vikestar were there for. So, I will say, for us, something we have discussed was, during their dating period and engagement, it's the thing of Inara would, come and walk with them to school.
Mhm.
Pick up Valor and Synnove in the morning and, walk them to school. So she was around for a lot of different moments like that, and then she was around for a lot of really horrible moments where Vikestar was also there, so Valor does remember it. But she doesn't remember any moments where it would have just been the two of them.
I can't really wait to release some of the Fading Book entries that I haven't released yet from pre-stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm scared and excited.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps. I know it's like semi-vague, but I hope like that amount of information is helpful.
Vesper asks, who was Synnove's first kiss? A healer. A healer. But not the kind Synnove is.
Not the kind Synnove is.
Yep. Next question.
Love it.
I'm not
Nope,
answering that question.
not on stream.
Niviana.
Of the Girl Scout cookies.
Oh, let's see. When will the one shot between 36 and 37 be posted? When it's ready to be posted. When the time is right.
You'll know.
Patience.
You'll smell it in the
There
air.
will be hype about it.
Wait, you must. Good it will be.
Do you think, this is for you, Kyle,
I don't think.
Ophelia the Minotaur child is actually Ignis's horse, Ophelia, just polymorphed because names are never a coincidence?
What?
I forgot your horse was named Ophelia. I only remember one horse being named Drew.
It was funny because we would go,
Ophelia.
Oh, it was Drew, Precious, and Ophelia, wasn't it? We had chat name the horses.
we did. Y'all are wild. I don't think that. I definitely think that seeing a Minotaur in the place that definitely was interesting because of Highland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe part of that it's one of Woody's characters. You go back. And
Who
look at-
knows? Who knows?
So I think that might be more likely.
I do too. The whole Dusk Point shit is sussy as
Yes.
fuck.
What was it called originally?
Brighthorn? Brightpoint?
Brighthorn or Brighthaven?
And then it was Dusk Point.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Brighthorn. I think maybe one of the episodes is titled Brighthorn because we did like it after like nouns.
Our Tome of Knowledge and our Wiki Queen said Brighthorn.
Brighthorn.
Funky.
Thank you. Thank you, Sherry and Lua. From Filthy Stinky 20, what do you think of all the hints to Ishtaba in X's past? Him being made out of his mother's cloak. So many references to his mother, calling her the shepherd.
She's the shepherd.
He is a fragment of the concept of death, right? Or they, but
What do you call a concept?
what do you call it?
What do you call
Zilarian is not a
it?
person.
The
Zilarian is
Zilarian-
not a person.
The Zilarian is not a person.
And it's hard to remember that. And I think we watch Aelys forget that when talking to the Zilarian.
Aelys got that I can fix him.
Yeah.
You can't fix a force of nature.
No. My guess is that like because the god sleep is the like essentially like the concept of it was like that's what death is to gods or what death was to gods, and so I feel like that's just what makes sense. Clearly, spoilers. Clearly, fucking Law did some shit or had Godwin do some shit and like broke the god sleep.
Fucked it up.
Three
Fucked it up.
pieces.
La messed in business she shouldn't have. And if I ever get to play Ishtava again, I'm coming for her. Just like Godwin did for Ishtava.
End the stream. End the stream!
First canonical orgasm.
What else do you think about the cloak part? Were you surprised?
I was surprised. I didn't expect it. It was fun though. When Will said mother, I was like, what? And then he said cloak, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, what has this Istava done? Because at that point I didn't know what was happening. I just thought, oh no, has Will made my sweet baby Istava break bad?
Yeah. No, I think it was.
No one is safe.
I think it's just like, it simply is related.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Though anyone could break bad in our world except for Vegstar, but no one is safe.
Okay.
I mean, Vikestar might break immoral when it comes to gods cannot be moral beings. Let's talk about
I
this.
disagree with Istava because she's born from the mortal will to endure and mortality, and she's connected to mortals in a way that nobody else knows.
endure.
Heard. What I mean is, I guess what I'm saying is, you cannot assign them the very, like, human,
Ideas of morality.
yeah, like, they don't see things the same way. An immortal being does not look at life in the same way.
It's like when you're watching Freerun.
Yeah,
And you
that's what the show's about.
I've not seen it. I haven't seen it.
Watch Freerun.
I gotta finish Hunter x Hunter and then I'll get on that shit.
You're just watching everyone on their mortal human lifespan with an elf who's lived for
Oh yes, Tangerine.
such a crazy
There are
amount of
no
time.
moral billionaires.
It's like that. It's
Not one.
someone, and she just like, it's like, well, yeah, it takes me like a couple hundred years to like become like think of someone as a friend, and like you're just looking at life on a different scale, and it's never gonna line up.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
like they're like a really loved pet.
It's like you were my everything. You were just a season for me, or some shit. Whatever it's called.
Yeah. It's just different, though. I don't know. Valor's first hollow that was made, that's pretty special. And I will say, Vegstar doesn't have scary music that plays every time we see him. And because I
don't
have
see him
said
very
that,
often.
fair. But because I have said that, Will might assign that.
No, but I will say, every time we see Vegstar, he's different. Like,
I
there's
know.
like a slightly
Every
different
time.
accent. There's a slightly different vibe.
She asked.
And I don't know if that's an inconsistency with Will or if that's something going on.
That's why I
Fucking
asked
hit-
in
JB's few
35. Yeah.
JB's few experiences with
Sindar?
Sindar, they were very different
Yeah,
each time.
yeah.
Some
Wait.
sussy shit going on.
With Sindar, though, and Nevrik, it's the gods of elements and the gods of emotions. I feel like they are more changeable
That's fair.
because of that.
Malleable.
Yeah.
Vegstar is different.
Do you want
every
to answer
time.
this question about Vikstar's mommy issues? How much of Valor's melting in front of female authority figures is genuine attraction, and how much of that is Vikstar's mommy issues?
Oh.
She did that before.
Not melting. I think they pointed it out recently. Other people said, like, as Lenore, it wasn't that instant melt. I think Valor feels very few things, and the things she feels strongly. So that might explain the difference. But, like, for me personally, those acting choices were not made because of Vegstar.
Yeah.
His mommy issues are his own. Valor just loses all semblance of a spine in front of female authority figures.
That's fair.
Because they deserve respect.
Yeah.
They worked hard to get where they are.
Okay. Last question from me. What are you most excited about?
Cupcakes?
Okay. You know what I mean, asshole.
This is why I think they're siblings.
Kyle told me to get out of his apartment the other night.
What did you say? Wait, what did you say?
I don't remember.
You said something that made it worth it.
Yeah, it was pretty heinous.
And I was like, I invited Hannah
It's
here.
just like, get out. I'm very excited for the next steps in Dark Age. I think that this time we have until like the meeting, I'll be vague so that if you haven't caught up, a date was set for an important meeting, and we have some time. I'm interested to see what shit we could get up to in that time, because we got places we gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm
Your
so
list.
excited.
Yeah, we gotta
I'm so
hit
excited.
some sites.
Yeah.
Be tourist.
Yeah.
We gotta know. We gotta know what's going on at the monastery.
I'm very interested in the monastery and just like where that weapon is.
Yeah.
That is specifically Hannah wants to know what the fuck's going on there.
And like Mirovix reaching out to JB, saying like, you need to come back.
What if they got Last Airbender? That's all I'm saying.
They
I'm worried about like the coming over the mountain in Mulan
Mm-hmm.
when they're like singing and they're all happy and they're like, we're going over the mountain, and then they go over the mountain and it's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
yeah. With
Yeah.
Mulan.
I would love, I don't know if we'll get to it before we go to this meeting that we have to go. I would love to find out why the vampires are worshipping Valor.
I don't think the vampires are worshipping Valor.
Until it's proven otherwise, that is my headcanon.
Yeah, like
Until Will
Hannah and
proves me wrong.
Rachel are convinced. Why else would there be a tapestry about sisters, one of which will be an inevitable god, and one of who is now like this unending being? Better than ever.
Just because there might be a prophecy does not mean they worship the person in the
I
prophecy.
But they
need
should.
Jessex to simp for Valor.
Jessex
The way
is
Valor
a
says.
simp for Jessex.
Ooh.
That's very true.
And
Probably has a mirror above his bed.
and
His coffin, sorry.
and I'll die. I will die on that hill.
So fair.
Fucking Jessex.
I just think like
What if-
I was thinking about
What
that
if
recently.
Voltaire's one of the vampires?
I don't think he is. I would believe
He's not a
Voltaire's
vampire.
more of a god than he
Yeah.
I would believe he's a god before
That's
I believe he's a
fair.
vampire.
I think he's a god hanging out with us to mess with us. If he was a
Fuckers.
vampire, we
Just
would have
too
known.
sus. Just too sus.
Every single vampire has red eyes in Will's world.
There's been several characters who've talked about potential and like harvesting it or collecting it, which I find interesting verbiage that Will has used, and I don't know if that's just because his brain is his brain or if that is intentional. Astrid, I think, used it. It was one of the Sentinel people in Destera used it, and Voltaire's used it.
Okay.
And maybe someone else. It's just interesting.
Harvesting potential.
They harvest potential. They're
Green.
collecting potential. Yeah.
There's gonna be a war.
He's like Loki in our world, if there was an equivalent Loki. He's just there to cause chaos.
I don't know.
But we'll see.
What are you most excited about? Besides learning that Valor's worshipped by vampires.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that. I'm super excited to touch the sword. Which I'm just kidding, because Will said like we would not survive if we did.
I'm willing to test that theory.
Yeah, I was just
That's like, that is the equivalent of Tony Stark wielding the Infinity Stones.
I know.
Synnove built different. She's got like 3 gods in her pocket.
I think I'd have to check the phrasing on it. It was like, I mean, you guys could certainly like touch the sword, but you will not be the same person afterwards. And if you survive it, you like he would be shocked.
He was like, you can level up if you survive.
If you survive.
It would have to be like natural 20s across the board.
There's no way.
I like that lucky feat that I have.
Yeah.
You can roll.
I think if Valor feels strong enough from other things that she's working on, she won't feel the need to touch the sword.
If we were level
17.
If we were 15 on, I would feel more confident
Yeah.
in that being like a viable option. Or like if we did like a end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 where like they all like joined hands and could wield the stone.
Love magic.
The love
The
That
power
would-
it's
of
the
love
power of
magic.
friendship.
That would be dope.
It's the power of
Synnove's gonna become
friendship.
the goddess of love. The Twilight Princess, goddess of love.
I'm excited. Okay, so
Oh
for
my
real
God, that's
though,
her fucking title. Twilight Princess. Because of that.
for real though, I'm excited to eventually meet the vampires. Though I don't think we'll do so before this meeting. I'm excited to go to the monastery and find out what happened, learn more about what happened in this time period we missed. I'm personally very excited to see what ends up I'm very excited to see what ends up happening with Synnove's journey with the gods and like where she pulls magic from. And I'm excited to see Mike Star more, hopefully.
I'm excited for that ship to come back.
I don't think you're gonna see Vikestar. Vikestar is in you.
I know, but we can chat.
Like,
I also feel really validated knowing that Will's intentionally doing slightly different things for Vikestar every time. I feel very validated because I thought like I was having auditory issues.
No.
Because sometimes like he changes characters and I'm like, I don't know, he's talking to me.
he does have a lot to juggle.
Yeah, he does.
He does a great job.
But then
What-
until asking like, are you the same every time? And
Yeah.
Vikestar was like, no. I was like, at least I know Rachel, I'm not losing my hearing. Like it was just like, it really is slightly different every time.
Yeah. And somebody who has to watch through all the episodes for TikTok clips, I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. And it's so cool, but it like wasn't something that ever made sense to ask about until recently, and so that was really nice confirmation. And I'm excited to see more Vikestar in the future. What are you most excited about?
Besides the monastery,
Yeah.
I am excited to like reacquaint with the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I love the like big epic space dramas and stuff, but I also love just like knowing the world and knowing the lore and being like on the ground
Yeah.
in it,
Mm-hmm.
in the culture. And I think that much like Will's world is so full of cool culture moments and just like lore. I'm excited to spend more time doing that.
Same.
Like the interpersonal stuff and the details and the feuds.
We can have a lot more conversations when we're not like pressed for time.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Excited to watch Gary and Decima burn the fucking world down.
Yeah, I don't know if this meeting's
They're
gonna happen.
going off grid.
Yeah.
They're going off grid and everyone else is gonna be upset about it.
They lit the match, tossed it behind them, and said, "Peace."
Bye!
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't. I don't know. I don't think
I'm
she
not
would
mad
be
about
that
it.
mad.
We're not gonna be invited to the
Um,
wedding, which
I'm
is what's
afraid of
most upsetting.
Beatrix. I heard Beatrix is Godwin.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
That's what I'm most excited about.
Mm.
Godwin,
Your white whale.
my white whale.
His big bad moment.
When he shows up, can't wait.
I'm most excited for when we finally take down Hareen.
I feel like that is. I'm so sorry. It's after 9. I feel like
Dreams
that
are
is
umbrage.
years away.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
like actual like us human
In-world
years.
years.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel so good.
It's gonna feel so good. That's the slow burn
Yeah.
we all want.
That's
Ooh,
so good.
feed it to me slowly like grapes. I'm gonna pull off Hareen's fingernails one by one.
I want it to be like, I really want a moment where like we just beat the shit out of him, and then instead of killing him, we're like, nah, fuck you. You're gonna community service, bitch.
Yeah,
Like, you have to.
Yeah.
he's scary.
He is.
That's why I know we're not
Terrifying.
gonna actually fight him for so long.
Hippos are the most dangerous animal in the Amazon. We should have known.
And with that,
Yeah. Why wasn't this your TED Talk?
I don't know.
what is
Because
okay?
he was so jovial.
What hippos or Shakespeare? How much would you say you know?
Ooh, that's hard. To be fair, I think I know more about Teletubbies than I do about hippos.
You know
But
what?
definitely Shakespeare.
That really was the time we had. And what a time it was.
I can explain that later.
What is that? What is that?
It's after 9.
It's after 9! I can say whatever I want!
That'll be for next Bards and Crafts or
Oh
Bards
my
After Dark. I'll
God.
explain why I know a lot about Teletubbies.
I love y'all.
I love y'all.
I love y'all.
We love y'all.
This is not my show, so you guys can decide.
Thank
I'm
you.
just
How
a
was your
humble
guest experience?
Yeah.
It was great. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah.
I feel honored.
Thanks for traveling all this way
Yeah.
It was a long commute.
and enduring the
Yes.
jokes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for hammering.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
Mhm.
I'm really happy with how this all turned out. Even if the cameras aren't level.
They'll never be level, at least not here.
It looks really good in person. Thanks for y'all's help and for hanging out with us and asking
Yeah.
such cool questions.
Yeah.
This episode will be deleted, so I hope you remember the lore.
It'll be on YouTube.
It will be deleted at some point, and as everything will be.
First to add on, I started putting some of the Bards and Crafts, previous Bards and Crafts streams on the Bards After Dark podcast, we're gonna be making more stuff on that, so I'll keep pushing that. Bards After Dark, that's where a lot of like that, because I didn't want the, because on like podcast platforms, it's just like
Yeah.
it's
Feed.
just a feed.
Yeah. It's tough to sort through.
Yeah, so I felt as though these like different like extra moments really need to be like
Housed.
not in between episode 21 and 22 of Dark Age.
Yes.
Like
You finished 21 and then it's
And
like,
then it's
welcome to Bards and Crafts!
I did not have that high of energy.
or like us talking about whether or not we could survive on Survivor. Like
Oh.
Unhinged.
so
I like it as a separate thing. That's good.
So yeah, Bards After Dark is also going to include things like Bards and Crafts and Bards on the Bard when we eventually do a special for that. So
Bards about the
follow
bard.
that. I think right now I believe it's definitely on Spotify and Apple Music. So definitely check those out.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, like, subscribe.
We hit 100K.
We hit
on
100K on
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yes.
Congratulations
Yeah,
to us
thank
and to
you.
y'all.
Thank you guys for sharing it. Thank you, Hannah, for making incredible clips of us being absolute weirdos.
It's mostly our lovely community spreading the word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing it. Thanks for watching it. Thanks for laughing with us.
Talk to your friends about it. And if you have some expendable income, go to our merch store, get some cool stuff. You can become a member on YouTube
Mm-hmm.
for a couple bucks.
And then you don't get all those annoying ads, right? Isn't that what it does? I don't know anything about YouTube.
I don't know. I've never watched the show.
If you have YouTube Premium, you don't get ads.
I
I don't know
don't
if
know
I'm.
anything about
I don't know if we're like allowed to be like not ads because YouTube is who gets the most money from ads, you know,
yeah.
and they're not like.
Yeah, that's where they get their money.
I do feel this is a
Um,
post-stream conversation.
yeah. We're real. We're authentic.
I feel like we have to look this
We're
up and
messy.
learn about
And,
it.
and if thinking of the slanted room
Oh.
and thinking of possible future expansions of the Bard's domain, it is important for us to be able to pay for things, and all our money that we make from y'all goes right back into the stream. So
Yeah.
It really does.
we're hoping to be able to continue to go through the roof
Yeah.
like it's been. So
Yeah, and
That's it.
we have all of you to thank for that.
Yeah.
Next week we'll be back for Dark Age
episode
on Wednesday
38.
with a
Special guest.
not
Not
a
a
special
special
guest, not a guest.
Oh, I know. I was acting. You know what? I'm done.
A new face, new to some, perhaps not to others. That's all I'll give you.
Has not been on Dark Age.
Has not been on Dark Age.
Has not been on Dark Age.
Nope.
I was just acting, guys. I know what's
Um,
going on.
But yeah, I'm very excited to see you all next week. I miss that we're not telling the story this week, but this was also lovely.
It
And
was.
so great to answer your questions. And I could just do this forever with all of you on the Discord and here.
Yeah.
So we'll see you on the Discord in the meantime.
Yeah.
And then we will see you on Wednesday for chapter 38
Yes.
of Dark Age. And who knows what the fuck's gonna happen. We're gonna raid somebody, so spread that bony love. And yeah, I don't have anything. I just love y'all. I really love y'all.
This was a wonderful way to spend the evening. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye now.
See you in Discord.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye now.
Be
Goodbye.
safe.
Goodbye.
Get home
Go
safely.
home safe.
Don't trip on your way out.
Bye.